Hello， 各位亲爱的观众朋友们，欢迎回来。那我们的正赛环节也是马上要开始，在今天的比赛开始之前，我们也是来连线一下 SR 战队，对他们进行一个简单的采访吧。Hello Lambo， 你好。那么先对你们整个战队、整个常规赛进行一个总结跟评价吧，评一下队内的 MVP。
Guten Tag, Lambo. First question, let's summarize your team's performance during the regular season. And who do you think is the MVP of your team?
Hello. First of all, I want to say our regular season's performance was really good. We went 8-3. Maybe we even could have gotten ahead of Vivo Gaming. But I think the MVP, without a question, is going to be ByuN. I think this guy always delivers, and he's the backbone of our team. So yeah, he's the best player in this season, and he usually always is. He's just so strong.
大家好，我觉得本赛季的常规赛我们表现的还是非常令人满意的，我们这个8胜的成绩是可以的，略微高于微博。那么我们队内的 MVP， 我觉得毫无疑问应该是 ByuN 选手，他是我们队的擎天博玉柱架海紫金梁。
那也是希望这个擎天柱今天可以发挥出色。那这2天我们在赛前有一个很有趣的表演赛环节，不知道你看了吗？对哪位选手的印象比较深刻呢
？Have you watched the exhibition matches these 2 days, and who impressed you the most?
I watched a little bit of F91 against Mana just now, and he looked very impressive. So that was for sure the most impressive performance so far. He has the SC Brood War down, the mod. I think he played quite well.
我看了一点点，刚好就是刚才这个巅峰战绩 F91 对阵 Mana 啊，他的表现实在是令人刮目相看，所以如果说谁给我造成了最深刻的震撼，那当然是 F91。
F91 选手确实是出乎了我们所有人的意料，让我们大跌眼镜。赛德老师刚刚在后台，他竟然用了"竟然"这个词，跟孙哥说你竟然赢了。好，那我们下一个问题是想问一下 Lambo， 你其实是作为一个选手，同时也是一个解说，你对于最近种族的一个平衡性怎么看呢？尤其是在刚结束的 EWC 上面，我们看到 Clem 选手4-0 Hero 5-0 Saro 非常的厉害。你对于这个版本的一个种族平衡如何看待呢？跟我们分享一下。
Actually, we were all surprised that F91 could have win this match. But let's just get back to you as a caster of EWC and a player. You have noticed that Clem had beaten Saro 5-0 and 4-0 to Hero on the EWC. So does that mean Terran needs to be nerfed?
I don't think it means Terran necessarily needs to be nerfed. I think Clem is just insane. He played the best out of every player that was there, and he looks almost unbeatable against Protoss and Zerg, but he's just so good that I don't think we can call imbalance right away. But yeah, he did not beat any Terrans there, so maybe we can beat him with some Terrans. Maybe Harstem, Scarlet and me have been practicing some Terran, and we'll take him down in TVT instead.
我觉得倒不是说人族真的需要 nerf， 主要还是因为 Clem 太强了，他昨天表现的，还有他一直以来的这个打法都有点趋向于无敌。当然，这也仅是对于他与神族对战的这种情况。人族内战的话，我觉得我们还是有希望的。
是的，那其实昨天我们也是看到他的一个表现非常出色，我觉得 Lambo 说的也非常的正确，就也许没有最强的种族，只有最强的选手，但是这个最强的选手昨天打了一个 all kill 7-0，今天你们怎么来抵挡他呢？
Yes, maybe because Clem is too OP, because yesterday he was the team slayer made an all kill. Do you have any plan to stop Clem?
Yeah, we made a lot of plans. I mean, while Clem was enjoying some time off on the vacation, we've been cooking up strategies in the lab, and we prepared specifically for Clem. So I think we have some good stuff prepared. I obviously can't share the exact strategies, but we're feeling good overall.
肯定的，我们是确实准备了不少。当 Clem 还在度假的时候，我们都已经这个潜心开始搞科研，每个人都是出谋划策，专门去好好研究了一番这名选手。所以我们今天现在还不能说，但打起来的时候你就看到我们的对策。
我已经迫不及待想要看到你们的比赛了，相信一定会非常的精彩。好，那感谢兰姆接受到我们的采访，也祝愿你们今天比赛可以顺利，感谢。
Thanks for the interview. That will be all. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you.
好的，那我们的正赛也是马上开始。通过刚刚 Lambo 的采访，已经迫不及待的想要看到他们准备了什么样的秘密武器来针对 Clem 的。那接下来把画面交给我们最专业的解说席。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the day number 2 broadcast of the WTL World Team League 2024 Summer Codes Playoffs. Day number 2. We just wrapped up with the show match. And again, a big shout out to F91. He was looking very impressive in the SC Evo mod. But now we're here for the main event. Now we're here to determine who can advance on in this bracket. Again, we have a Team Liquid going up against Shopify Rebellion up first. Oh boy, and again, Team Liquid looked terrifying yesterday. Again, well, I should say 2 days ago at this point. Team Liquid, they had Clem going on a killing spree, going for an all kill, and he was able to solo and bring down the entirety of Psystorm Gaming, or Psystorm Na'Vi. It was very impressive. I know a lot of people coming into the event and coming into, especially post EWC, were saying like, oh, you know, Clem, he was doing well, but you know who wasn't at the main event outside of TVT? Of course, we can get into TVT later on. But who wasn't there? MaxPax. MaxPax wasn't there. So it's like, oh, maybe MaxPax can like threaten Clem. Maybe MaxPax can pose a threat to the best player in the world. The answer is no. the answer is no. Clem, he had his way with MaxPax last night in that Team League match. He was able to take MaxPax down 2-0 and then another game thereafter. So he 3-0'd MaxPax in day number 1 of WTL. It was very impressive, very dominant performance out of Clem. Was able to bring down every other player, including Spirit as well in that TVT. Now, I would still agree. Lambo was making some jokes. He was having some fun talking about maybe, you know, off racing against Clem and playing Terran from the side of Scarlet or from Lambo as well. I do think TVT is Clem's weakest matchup, but oh, the doggo, the prediction doggo, let's go. Who's it gonna be? For those who don't know, the doggo does predict who he thinks will win the match. Doggo. What do you have, man? What do you have? Oh, Team Liquid. He likes the liquid. Okay, the predictions are in. We have, oh my god, we have Shalse, F91, Doggo, XY, Maxed, alongside Indy, Wardy, and Rotterdam, all picking Team Liquid, and Crank stands against the rest, going for the Shopify Rebellion pick. Okay. Is the prediction Doggo better than Artosis though? I mean, I don't think Artosis is better than anyone at predictions. I don't. Don't know if that's. Don't know if there's any competition there, right? Oh god. But regardless, we do have predictions heavily in favor of Team Liquid. I mean, again, as I just mentioned, especially with Clem all killing Psystorm Na'Vi, there's a lot of hype around Team Liquid. There's a lot of hype around Clem, especially Clem is the best player in the world. And can he carry his team as well? Now, the other scary thing about Team Liquid is that it is not just about Clem. His team as well is comprised of star players. We have Cure, one of the best Terrans in the world. We have a Laser, we have Mana, and we have SKillous as well. Oh boy, so it is not an easy team to defeat. What I will say, I don't know if a Laser is going to play. Fun fact, a Laser was invited and slotted to play in yesterday's tournament. He was slotted to play in House of Galactic Battle, and a Laser, he declined. He declined competing in the event because of Stormgate. There is another event going on this weekend, a Stormgate event, which a Laser is taking part in. So he did forego the SC2 event for Stormgate. A Laser was not there yesterday either in day 1 of WTL. We saw Cure, SKillous, Mana, and Clem on cams. A Laser wasn't. So I don't know if a Laser is going to be fielded at all this weekend, but technically he's an option. He's an option for his team, but I do think that they're going to be relying mainly on SKillous, Cure, and Clem. But we'll see. We shall see. We're going to have a bit of a debut from a Laser this weekend as, oh my god, we have our starting players. It's going to be ByuN and SKillous. Okay, Shopify fielding their star player first. That I was not quite expecting. Do need a moment to set things up here. Okay. So they're going to be coming out swinging here. ByuN is going to be the starting player for Shopify, and SKillous will be the starting player from Team Liquid. Again, SKillous wasn't able to play yesterday. SKillous, he wasn't even able to play last night as Clem went on a tear. Remember, Clem went on a killing spree. Clem all killed. So we saw shots of like SKillous and Cure, and they were falling asleep. They're like, Bobby, we want to play. We want to like, why are we even here? So thankfully, they're going to be starting things off with SKillous and maybe even Cure as well, giving them a chance to compete. Let's go. It's not just the Clem show. It's not Team Clem. It's Team Liquid. It's Team Liquid, so both SKillous and Cure are going to be stepping up to the plate, I'm sure. But here we go. We're jumping in and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Sorry, top left-hand corner. We have ByuN for Shopify. And in the bottom, sorry, in the top right, we have SKillous for Team Liquid. Here we go. We have our players. We have our match set. And we can jump into our first best of 2 of the night. Now, when it comes to the format, for those that are curious, this is a best of 7 in a sense, comprised by best of 2s, and it is all kill format. The winner stays on, the loser is eliminated. I should say there's a little bit more complexity to it. If either player goes for a 2-0 scoreline, they will stay on. They eliminate their opponent. If it is a 1-1 scoreline in this best of 2, then they knock each other out. Then they both get knocked out instead. So it is a very different format to what we're used to in the regular round-robin season, the round-robin group stage. Instead, all kill. Let's go. The all kill format is here. But now we're going to be settling in. We do have our initial openers. Again, the first map is predetermined. Map number 2 is loser's pick. Bear that in mind. So the loser of game 1 will have the advantage of that map pick, and can come in with a specialized build and a specialized plan. But now, Gate Cyber Expand, standard opener out of SKillous. Meanwhile, ByuN is going for his own economic opener as well. Single gas opener out of ByuN. We're just calming things down and settling into game 1. We are settling into game number 1 here. No hyper aggression to begin with, just economic openers all around. ByuN are going to be skirting around the edge, moving out for a bit of a scout. And we'll see if SKillous, or what kind of tech choice SKillous does go for. Ooh, interesting, as that was a tech lab on the racks, and we see why. Tech lab on the racks to kick things off. ByuN rushing into Marauder production. The probe scout will confirm. Big scout from SKillous. He does spot the tech lab, he does spot the researching as well. And that can be one thing and one thing only. That can be concussive shell marauders. That should be concussive shell marauders. So SKillous is fully aware. Now what this means is that SKillous should not be moving out with his gateway units. If he does, he's going to be caught out and he's going to be punished for being too active by those marauders. So he should be taking a bit of a more defensive stance instead. Meanwhile, the jig is up and ByuN won't be able to catch any free units, but can turn this defense into an offense. And see if he does move out with those marauders. We'll see if he does move out. Meanwhile, back at home, SKillous going for his tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener, working towards Blink. Blink is now on the way. And ByuN is settling into his own 2-1-1 setup. Second Rax is on the way. Factory, of course, is done, and he's getting into his starport. So no 3 Rax, no committed 3-1-1 either. Just calming things down and working towards a mine drop. Meanwhile, Reaper does slip into the main. Going for the probe kill, we'll get 1 worker, trading 1 for 1, but more importantly, the Reaper gets behind the mineral line, and ByuN does scout the tech of choice. ByuN is aware of Blink. ByuN is aware, setting up here on the low ground. Bunkers on the way, Marauders, chilling back at home to defend. And ByuN is working towards a mine drop follow-up. He's going to have 2 winter mines, a medevac as well, and can threaten some drop play and scout the follow-up. When it comes to SKillous, it is initially Blink, that is true, but there are different facets, different layers of Blink-based openers. Could be 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or even 4-gate Blink Stalker. For now, I believe the second gateway is on the way. And we'll see if SKillous does invest into more. Moving out with his initial Stalkers. Oh my god! Winter Mines is set up, but SKillous, he does respond very quickly. Does pull away in time. Does avoid those mine shots. Does avoid the mine shots in the end. rotating around, trying to catch drop plays. Speaking of, ByuN is going for the mine drop towards the natural. No, but SKillous, he rotates back. Oh my god, he's so close. He's so close yet so far. He is barely out of vision, barely out of range, and he will not spot the drop. ByuN with 3 Widow Mines does slip into the natural. And does boost in. And SKillous, does he react in time? He does pull away. Very nice response. Meanwhile, it's going to be 3 Gatling Stalker, not 2. My apologies. So 3 gateways. Ooh, mine shot goes off. 1 Stalker goes down. The probes. They almost do come back in time. 2 probes go down. SKillous will clean this up, but not the best trades here, losing 2 workers and a Stalker, and we still have 1 mine shot left. Does burrow in the main base, and SKillous will pull away. Oh my god. So close. Does pull away. Denied more mining time. As the mine does re-burrow. Meanwhile, across the map, SKillous, he dives into the main. Yeah, the tanks are not ready. 2 SCVs go down, but there is Stim, and can SKillous get away? Oof. Leading out 2 Stalkers. Also, I didn't even notice, but earlier, ByuN, after he got scattered, he did cancel Concussive Shell. So he's now reinvesting. And reinvesting in Concussive Shell. Working on the upgrade once again. I did notice that the Stalkers weren't slowed down. I was a little bit confused, but now we see why. Was cancelled. ByuN going for another double drop, just keeping up the pressure, not pulling back. Heads for the natural. SKillous a little bit out of position. Probes are going down. Ooh, and there's no shield battery. Uh-oh. We can go for the Immortal. We dive with the Immortal. The Immortal goes down as well. Massive pick-off. The Immortal does fall. 6 probes as well. And SKillous is struggling here. At the same time, ByuN rallying reinforcements towards the 3rd base, and SKillous is being pulled apart. He just cannot keep up. Shield batteries going down. Immortal workers as well. As ByuN can even fight the main army. Where's the backbone? There's no Immortal. There's no Colossus. No splash damage. And the Stalkers are going down one after the other. Boys are being pulled, and this is becoming far too much damage. It's becoming game-ending damage. Yeah, with a non-stop rally, ByuN, he's overwhelming what SKillous has. Dropping back into the main base as well, keeping his army split, pulling him apart. And ByuN, he gets into the mineral line. Another stim. ByuN is a little bit overstimmed, but it's fine. He's getting even more value here. It's worth it. Getting 16 probe kills. Almost another Stalker. Finally, with the help of this Immortal, SKillous should be able to force back the army, but there's more reinforcements. He wants it. He wants the Marauder. And he's going to get it as well. He wants the Immortal, I meant to say. The Immortal goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And this has gotten out of hand. This has gotten out of control. ByuN dealing crippling damage. 17 probes, 2 Immortals. GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. ByuN will take a lead here in this series. And again, it was just a brutal position for SKillous, who was forced to respond, forced to drag his army back into the main, back and forth, was unable to stop the drop plays. And unfortunately, he was not ready for the constant aggression from ByuN. No shield batteries at the natural, no shield batteries at the 3rd. Without them, we saw how vulnerable those Immortals were. Without the shield battery, without the overcharge, without anything to sustain that defense. And with that, GG. GG, well played. ByuN and Shopify, they start off with a win. They start things off with a win, and we'll see if SKillous can bounce back. As we're jumping into game 2, it's going to be SKillous' map of choice, Golden Aura. Let's go. Golden Aura is coming up next. Remember, SKillous, he is coming in with a plan, of course. I'm sure has something planned here for Golden Aura, and I'm curious how he's going to approach this and where he takes us. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have ByuN for Shopify. And in the top left, we have SKillous for Team Liquid. Here we go. See in chat, is this live? This is a replay cast from yesterday. So if you missed out yesterday, then we are going over day 2 now. And this is lined up in such a way where once we wrap up with the day 2 broadcast, we will be jumping into day 3 live. So World Team League, the final day is scheduled to begin in like 4 hours, I want to say. Like 4 or so hours. So we're going to be covering, of course, day 2 for the entirety of that, and then bam, right into day 3. So back-to-back World Team League. Here we go. We have ByuN setting up. Likewise, so is SKillous. No initial proxies, no crazy aggression here at the start of the game. ByuN going for the Rax Expand. Once again, a single gas opener out of ByuN. And SKillous likewise going for the Gate Cyber Expand as well. So similar, or the exact same openers that we saw in the previous game. Very economic. Here we go. Here we go. As we can see, ByuN is scouting for proxies, making sure there is no gateway out on the map. Just patrolling left and right. And meanwhile, we have our takeoff choice from SKillous. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener once again. Now, last game, SKillous did go for a 3-gate blink. It was unable to really get much done across the map as he was pinned back at home because of the aggression of ByuN. Oh my god, meanwhile, ByuN this time rushing to a 3rd CC. It looks like 3 racks, 3 CC out of ByuN. Ay. Very greedy play out of the blue Terran player. Yeah, 3 CC, 3 racks. The 3rd CC is on the way. We have extra racks as well. This has become a very trendy build over the past couple of months. It's very greedy. Very greedy. And this snowballs out of control specifically in the mid-game. Just because how fast and how quickly the Terran player gets that 3rd base up and running. And just how many workers they have to work with as well. So right now the pressure is on SKillous to punish this. If he's unable to, the ByuN is going to run away with this game. There's a lot of pressure on the Protoss. And SKillous has yet to piece it together. We have the eBay as well for +1. 2nd rack, soon to be a 3rd. Working towards Stim. And this is as greedy as you can get in TVP. SKillous does attempt the shade. Trying to get read what's going on. 2 more gates on the way. So it looks like once again SKillous going for 3-gate blink. I am a little bit concerned for SKillous now. 3-gate blink has potential to punish. It's a very middle of the road build. It's not too greedy like 2-gate blink. It's not as aggressive as 4-gate. So SKillous has potential, but if he doesn't get much done, he is going to fall behind. Just a very safe opener out of SKillous, maybe a better way of putting it. While ByuN has been hyper greedy. Adept does shade in and does scout the 3 racks, but does not get eyes on the 3rd TC. But based on how late that 3rd racks is, SKillous could try to piece it together. Could attempt to determine. Now we have the factory on the way. Stim is in production as well. As ByuN does get eyes on the 3rd Nexus. Get a more standard timing on the 3rd. SKillous is moving out. And again, the pressure is on SKillous to gain value here, to pick off Marines, to get into the main base, pick off some SCVs. Just to trade. To trade efficiently, better way of putting it. And to contain as well. ByuN might have a fast 3rd, but if ByuN can't land it, then it won't even matter. As SKillous is going to gain high ground vision with the Observer. Does get eyes on the main army. Stim about to finish up in a couple of seconds. And there we go. The Observer does confirm the timing of the 3rd CC. So ByuN, SKillous. So SKillous is now aware of just how greedy ByuN has been. And how does SKillous respond? For the time being, going for a Bay, working towards Colossus. +1 attack is on the way. And at this point, because Stim is done, SKillous cannot push into the main. He cannot blink in, but he can delay. It's all about delaying the expansion. The CC is spotted. SKillous does reinforce. And he's going to be able to chip away at the expansion, at the CC. We'll get a couple of shots off. Does force ByuN out. Force a stim as well. But ByuN will be able to expand. And SKillous is going to be chased back. And again, now I do worry for SKillous because he wasn't quite able to delay the expansion. He at least knows what's been going on, and back at home, SKillous should be skipping warp-ins at this point. He's going to try to cut his own corners and try to keep up in the mid-game. With Colossus, extra gateways. Fourth base soon to be taken. As the army does stim in. Potentially going for the Colossus. Does focus down the Stalkers initially, and the Colossus is going to go down. Oh my god! And ByuN catching SKillous off guard. Not like this. As he does catch the Colossus, a good amount of Stalkers as well. And now SKillous is that much more vulnerable to the secondary push. I mean, again, like, this is just such an awkward timing out of ByuN. Just randomly moving out. And SKillous was caught out of range of any shield batteries. Aye. Getting to another Colossus. Working towards charge. ByuN once again sharking around for another stray unit. This time the move out is spotted by the Observer. SKillous is aware. Ooh, as I say that, the Observer gets sniped. Observer goes down. SKillous now once again in the dark. Getting in position at his fourth. And now you can see the third base coming into play. ByuN is skyrocketing ahead in the economy. In the army size. As charge is still not done. Nice kiting here out of ByuN. Just shuts down the Zealots. And without the Zealots, we can't protect the Colossus. No, not again. ByuN, he wants it. Does want it, pulling away. Does kite back and barely does not have enough momentum to keep going. SKillous does hold. So run by, gets 3 SCVs. Does catch 3 workers. Water mines are cleaned up. SKillous, he's holding his own. He's holding his own as ByuN is going to be rotating towards the left-hand side. Runs into the main army. There's not that much buffer with the Marauders. Zell's putting in a lot of work. And SKillous not having the worst engage, does go for the dive once again. Does force back the army, and this time SKillous does have enough support for his Colossus. I say that with the Zealot count is being thinned out. Has to be careful. SKillous still going for the chase. But again, SKillous has to be so careful not to overextend. Like, he's fighting on a knife's edge right now. If he ever does lose too many Zealots, then he will lose the Colossus. Continuing to push out. Gets eyes on the fourth. And ByuN still looking to outscale SKillous. SKillous now able to embrace disruptor production. Fourth base up and running. Second robo's on the way. Disruptors are on the way here for SKillous. He does need more time. Setting up a proxy. Getting ready to move out. See, SKillous just waiting for the main army, and he kind of move out from ByuN. Getting into +3. ByuN, meanwhile, he responds with a second starport, is going into Mass Viking. And eventually into Liberators. So ByuN is reaching his final form, going to Ghost Liberator. So working in that direction. Secure on his own 4 bases. And ByuN is going to be the first to max out. SKillous not too far behind him. And has those disruptors. I mean, disruptors, they are the great equalizer. You can be down in supply and still take a fight. You can catch the Terran army off guard. Not going to be easy to catch ByuN not looking, but it's possible. SKillous rotating around. Oh, the disruptors. No, that's exposed! And SKillous, he gets caught with his pants down. Both disruptors go down. A massive pick off. And now SKillous, he has to get the hell out of here. He might have to just recall. He's gonna have to. Where's the recall as the army does collapse in? And there's no way out. SKillous, he's trapped and he's gonna lose every single unit. There is no recall. The Colossus go down. The disruptors earlier and everything on the ground as well. Just some rough movement from SKillous and one bad fight. That could be it. That could be game. As SKillous plummets in supply, it takes so long to rebuild that robo-based army. Again, losing those disruptors was brutal. And ByuN's rallying across the map, and there's almost nothing to defend. There's 2 disruptors on the high ground. There's a handful of gateway units. Some of the stalkers were saved, but it's a rough start for SKillous. And it was doing well stabilizing, despite the rough opener. Well, stabilizing was getting to 5 bases, but yeah, was just caught with his pants down, out of the map. Now, ByuN is not going for the main bases. He's skirting around the edge. So SKillous, he has time to warp in once again. But he's mainly relying on a gateway army. No more Colossus. And ByuN is just pulling SKillous apart. Nova's going off. Some okay connections. ByuN being forced back, but back at home, there's nothing to defend. The robos are depowered. Oh, and the choke point is brutal. As Zealous just can't get this round they're hoping for. Meanwhile, SKillous pushing forward. Nova goes off. We got some okay connections, but we're running out of Novas. Oh my god! Oh. Yeah, they're connecting with Vikings. And ByuN, he will shut down the main army. He's still wreaking havoc in the natural waste. Takes down even more disruptors. There's only 2 left. And soon to be none. Soon to be 0 here as we stim on forward. We focus on the final disruptors. Now it's only Zealots and Stalkers. And again, it's just so brutal losing those high-tech units as Protoss just because they take so long to replenish, so long to rebuild. Especially in this kind of game state. Like later on, like in a later game with like 3-4 robos, like sure. Doesn't take long at all. But SKillous couldn't sustain those losses, and yeah, ByuN is just securing his victory here. Still playing it carefully, still not just, you know, going straight for the main or anything like that, but trading nicely here and going for the gold. Going for secure damage. There are no EMPs, so without EMPs, we're going to be able to trade a little bit better here for SKillous, but it's still an uphill battle. Yeah, ByuN, he just rallies across the map. He can A-move Pappy. GG gets called, and ByuN will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. ByuN will take it. Some rough games there for SKillous, for Nikita. My heart goes out to him a little bit there. Again, he was doing well, maintaining himself and building up and having a competitive game number 2 with ByuN. He was able to max. But, yeah, he was caught out. As soon as those disruptors went down, SKillous, he had to get the hell out of there, had to somehow recall back home. The problem is, if he had tried to recall, he still would have lost most of his army anyway. Like, ByuN, he was on the hunt, he was hot on SKillous' heels, and, yeah, did punish him. Did punish him quite hard, and with that, GG, well played. ByuN and Shopify, they start off with a 2-0. Very strong start here for Shopify. And the question becomes, who is fielded next? Team Liquid. Oh, and Laser's there. Okay. I was saying earlier that I wasn't sure if a Laser was going to actually play this week and play this weekend just because he was focusing on Stormgate. But a Laser is in call. And a Laser might come out next. It's possible. Could be a Laser, could be Cure, could be Clem. I'm sure they have Clem hot and ready, but they might want to give Clem some rest after what happened the night before, right? Clem, after all killing Sidestorm Gaming, he might be a little bit, you know, a little bit out of energy. He might just need some time to recover. It's possible. Oh. Meanwhile, shout out to the Shopify squad. Let's go. We have Harstem, we have Scarlet, we have Lambo as well. We have the Rebels conversing. Trying to figure out, and I'm sure pepping up ByuN as well. Giving him props. But I'm sure they're also still thinking about Clem as, oh, okay. No Clem in the Zoom call, but we have Cure. So Cure is also here, also available. Cure, SKillous, and Alazer. Mono is here competing in the show match. This might tell us that Clem might be in bed. Clem, he might be napping a little bit. It's possible, it's possible. Oh, and Cure is setting up. Cure, is he our next player? I mean, he's got some killer TBT. Arguably better than Clem's? I'm not so sure about that. I'm sure they practiced together. We have heard in the past, I think it was last season during the winners interviews, that Clem was saying that, I think it was Mana. Mana was saying that Clem and Cure, after Cure joined Team Liquid, have been practicing a lot and working on their TBT. Because of that, that's also why, if you've noticed, but Clem and Cure's TBT have been looking a lot more similar as of late as well. But we'll see, as there it is. It is going to be ByuN versus Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We have our player of choice. Just setting things up. And there it is. It's going to be a TBT. And again, Cure, one of his best matchups is TBT. For a long time, he was known for having the best TVP in the world. True. That was the case for Cure for a very long time. His TBT is up there as well. I would say that Cure's weakest matchup is Terran versus Zerg. But again, give him any Terran or Protoss in the world and Cure can bring them all down. And we're jumping in. And in the top left-hand corner, we have ByuN for Shopify. Oh, sipping on some milk. And in the bottom left, we have Cure for Team Liquid. Let's go. I don't know if it's milk. It's a could be juice of some kind. We have seen ByuN sipping on milk before. That has occurred. We'll see. We'll see what powers him. Specifically, chocolate milk. Chocolate milk. Famously, a lot of the Koreans would sip on it while competing. As ByuN opening up with a proxy. Okay, it is going to be a 2 Rax opener. It's 1 Rax back at home and 1 Rax proxied across the map. Let's go. Cure is going to be the aggressor. Meanwhile, ByuN is opening up double gas. So Cure gambles a little bit here, and I do want to favor ByuN's position a little bit more. For those that are curious, with this double gas opener, ByuN is going for a faster factory. He's going Rax into factory, into a faster Hellion. So ByuN isn't being too greedy, he's not being too economic. So this 2 Rax opener here from Cure shouldn't get too out of hand, but we'll see how it all comes together. See what the execution is going to be looking like. As ByuN's factory is now on the way. Again, the Hellion's on the horizon. He is going to be on the horizon here. As ByuN is moving out with his Reaper, he's scouting for the proxy, making sure that everything is looking as it should. Checks the third base location initially. Doesn't go any further than that. Cure following it up with his factory. Reapers are on the way. And we'll see if Cure can catch that first Reaper. He wants it. ByuN shoots first. But Cure goes to the dive. He will focus on the first Reaper, and it looks like it... Oh, it's so close to going down. It will. The first Reaper does fall. Massive pickoff. And now ByuN has to pull the boys. Second Reaper is getting low. Hellion's on the way. And the CC will be delayed. So Cure gets 2 SCV kills, but with the arrival of the Hellion, ByuN should be okay. As I say that though, Cure wants it. Up, one more shot. Up, Uramas. He gets it. Hellion goes down. Reaper as well, and this is getting out of hand. ByuN shaking his head on cams. Ay, 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 the reaction. As ByuN, he had the tools to defend, but a little bit of his control did lose the Hellions and the Reapers, and with that, this might just be game. GG gets called. Cure takes game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. Just like that, Cure, he's fighting back. Is going to be fighting back here. ByuN not happy about his control there, which again, understandable. Again, ByuN, he had the tools to defend. If he was able to pull the boys a little bit sooner, if he was able to react and pull away a little bit faster as well with the Reapers and the Hellions, then ByuN would have been okay. But things very quickly snowball out of control. This is the problem with this kind of game state, is you have very little room for error. Very little room. One small mistake can cost you the game. Then and there, it's just so cutthroat. It's so unforgiving. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. It's such an unforgiving state of game there. And with that, Cure puts a point on the board. Let's go. Let us go. As we're now going to be getting ready for game number 2. And it's going to be ByuN's map of choice. It's going to be up to ByuN. And we have our map. It is going to be Post Youth as game number 2. Meanwhile, a shout out Pappy. A shout out to Patty Mac in the chat. Oh my god, you've been streaming a little more frequently recently. So thank you so much. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great stream over on your own channel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Slash shout out to Patty Mac. And for those that are tuning in, welcome to day number 2 of WTL, of the playoffs, of the playoff weekend. And sporting in the top right hand corner, we have ByuN for Shopify. And in the bottom left, we have Cure for Team Liquid. Now, for those that are now tuning in from Patty's stream, welcome everyone, welcome. If you're curious, this is a replay cast. We were otherwise busy yesterday, last night. Less than 24 hours ago, we were casting a different tournament for the entire day. ByuN's going for the same. ByuN's going for the 2x Reaper. Let's go! ByuN is going for the counter proxy. But we were busy covering another event yesterday, so we missed out on covering day 2. We are covering day 2 via replays, and by the time we wrap up with day 2 of WTL, day 3 will be casted live. Day 3 is going to be starting up as we wrap up with day 2. So back-to-back WTL broadcasts. We're catching up, and here we go. Proxy 2x Reaper. ByuN, he's an animal. He's upset, he's angry, and it's time to make use of those Reapers. Now we can see Cure, he's scouting for the proxy. He will check the triangular third location. Does confirm there is no proxy there, but it's actually here on the left-hand side instead. It's over towards the left. Cure barely does miss it. And if ByuN's able to take this game, they will knock each other out. Can ByuN bring Cure down with him? Ooh, as Cure is going for a Rax expand. Economic opener at a Cure. This is ideal for ByuN. Cure, he scouts, he checks, he confirms no CC. Confirms missing Rax. And now Cure, ooh, he throws down the bunker. He reads it well. You can see Cure, he pulls away the building SCV. He was about to start his own CC. He pulls away. Throws down the bunker instead. He now knows that something is wrong, that something is amiss. The bunker is almost done. Second bunker's on the way. You can see both bunkers in position to protect the main base of Cure. And we'll see if ByuN can break through. As ByuN is amassing a lot of Reapers. And the Reapers are zoned away. So far, very nice defense. You can see ByuN rotates over towards the right-hand side, but the second bunker's already ready. Already in position. Oof. ByuN will chip away at the depot. Not bad. Gets a couple of shots off. We're catching an SCV in the center of the map. ByuN rotating over. CC is now on the way. Cure getting further ahead. Bearing in mind that Cure, he's already got his command center on the way. ByuN has yet to throw down his own. And does ByuN transition to one base all in? Or does he expand? I should be expanding. He's got the money for it. There we go. CC on location. ByuN is floating back, and I do have to give the edge to Cure. As ByuN only gets one SCV kill. Has invested quite heavily into these Reapers, but so far it has not been worth it. does need better trades. Diving into the main. Reaper's forcing a cancel. Getting the reactor. Reactor does go down. ByuN going for the depot. It does get quite low. One Reaper finally does fall. Boys are being pulled. And the depot is going to be repaired. Yeah, extra boys being pulled as well. Does force a big reaction. That is some economic damage being dealt. Doesn't get SCV kills, but does force some lost mining time. So at least some damage. As the Rax is under fire, Cure can now expand, taking his own in-base natural. And we'll see if ByuN can recover from here. I mean, it's CVT, there's a lot of ways to bounce back, especially when it comes to these big siege fights, when it comes to outpositioning your opponent. Before that does occur, ByuN moving out with Cyclones. Still trying to be aggressive. Cure, meanwhile, taking a third TC, getting further ahead. And a shout out to Dave, Bappy, thank you so much for the bits, Bappy. Thank you, thank you. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hope you've been doing well. Hope you've had a great weekend. And welcome to the WTL. As you see, Cure forcing back the initial drop. Likewise, Reapers to the right hand side. Cure's in position. He's ready for this. 1, 2 Reapers go down. Ooh, massive pickoffs. ByuN is punished. But I don't blame him. Again, there's so much pressure on ByuN to get some kind of damage, but he's being shut down time and time again. Cure, he's a brick wall. Doesn't falter. Doesn't crumble. ByuN backing off, getting to his own extra Raxes. Has not scattered the third TC yet. Gets into the main. Gets 1 SCV. That's something. 1 SCV goes down. As my buddy at work, Carlos says. Pop. Fair enough. As liberating to the main base, not bad getting 4 SCVs. Finally, some real economic damage. 4 SCVs go down. Cyclone drop in towards the main. Cyclone's out of position. More SCVs going down. ByuN pulling Cure apart. Very nice damage. Okay. 9 SCVs even. And just like that, ByuN takes a worker lead. It took a lot, but ByuN was able to piece it all together. With the help of the Liberator. But this is still not enough. Even though ByuN has a slight worker advantage, that is true. But remember, Cure has a third base already done. The orbital just now finished. Cure is far ahead when it comes to the third base timing. Can make 3 SCVs at a time. Still has the economic lead. Meanwhile, ByuN dropping back into the main base. Gets a fresh mule. Gets a fresh mule. Gets 4 SCVs. Getting a 5th worker as well. Okay. Better. ByuN, he's popping up. Getting 5 more workers. Cure taking his 3rd. We'll get another SCV. Finally, with the help of these Vikings, we're going to be able to shut down the drop play. Finally, Cure, he can breathe a little bit easier, can focus on his own macro, but he did lose a lot of workers throughout the course of that harassment. Well, like 12 plus SCVs in total. It was insane. So ByuN is still in this. Despite the rocky start, and it was a very rocky start for ByuN, he's bouncing back. Going for the drop on the right-hand side. Oh, Vikings are somewhat in position. Yeah, they're on patrol. Right outside the gold. Likewise towards the tanks or Cyclones. I'm hoping that ByuN waits for a distraction before going in. But he just... Oh, okay. Does pull away. Nice reaction out of ByuN. Does thankfully pull away in time. Does pull away as ByuN is going to be rallying across the map. He's got a decent tank count here. Likewise, Cure has a comparable tank count himself. Kira will have the defensive advantage. ByuN going to try and sneak up on him. Has arrived with 5 tanks. Goes for the scan. But Kira does shoot first. Yeah, first tank is going to go down. Trading 1-to-1. A 1-for-1 trade. ByuN pulling away. Likewise, you can see Kira getting ready for a Doom drop. Sensor towers are done. Turrets are on the way as well. Oof. ByuN is punished. Taking a lot of damage on that to tank. Kira thought about going for the dive with those turrets. Doesn't commit. Oh my god. As Kira will bleed out one of his Vikings. ByuN pulling away. At the same time, Kira going for his own Doom drop, but he's spotted by the Vikings of ByuN. Forced to unload. Medevac taking a lot of damage, has to pull away. Meanwhile, because of the threat of the drop, ByuN does pull back with his tanks at least. Tanks do pull back home. ByuN going for his own Doom drop. For his own Doom drop across the map. 1-1 finishing off for ByuN. There is only the one Viking this time. Still going to be enough though. ByuN doesn't take the chance, doesn't take the risk. Pulls away. Both players taking their 4th bases. ByuN slightly faster. 4CC on location. The game is slowing down. When I say that, Kira does move out of this Mass Marine, and he could try to find the 4th base. He could try to shut it down. It's just the one tank. Kira sims in. Goes for the dive. The tank is going to fall, and he forces a cancel. Oh my god, the 4CC was almost done. Was almost finished. Oh, Kira getting a little bit greedy. There we go. Pulls away. Does pull away, boosting into the main. Threatens a dive. Pulls back. And very nice pick off here from Kira. Again, that 4CC was almost done. Meanwhile, ByuN wants to try to catch out this drop. Uh-oh. Kira's cornered. And he is trapped. 1 medevac goes down. A 2nd medevac as well. Ooh, and a 3rd. Massive pick-offs, but Kira, he does barely slip away. With 2 full medevacs. Kira, he gets back home. ByuN takes a Marine lead. ByuN is up in supply. With that Mass Marine, he could try to break through. Rotating over towards the 4th base. And we'll see if ByuN can slow down the 4th of Cure. Threatens the 3rd up, being forced back. Cure is in position. ByuN maxed out. Has a larger army. But it's one of those things about TBT where you can be up in army supply, it's at 10, 20, 30, 40 army supply, but pushing into a siege line is still a fight you can't really take too confidently. Here can still fight back. Behind this, more starports, getting to Raven production, more Vikings. ByuN, meanwhile, extra Vaxes. ByuN, his style of TBT is very marine heavy. Very marine heavy. It's very unique. It's a lot of fun as well. It's very mobile. ByuN usually delays Viking production by quite a bit. We'll eventually get there in a longer game state, but for a long time does rely on Mass Marine. Trying to find a way in. Speaking of clearing up supply, speaking of transitioning into Vikings, there we go. 2 more starports on the way. ByuN looks like he is done with Mass Marine. It makes sense on this map, post-youth. On larger maps where there's more attack paths and the bases are spread out, Mass Marine can catch up bases left and right. But on a more secure map like post-youth, it's more difficult. And clearing up supply of Marines for more Vikings, it does make more sense here. Does make more sense on post-youth. This kind of swarm style of TVT is less effective here. As you can see, Kira is turtling up quite well. As Kira is walling up, throwing out more towers, more turrets, CCs, planetaries. And ByuN is kind of being forced into Cure's TVT. Into a Cure once. ByuN rotating over, but alas, the 5th base is going to get up and running. ByuN's hope was to try and deny the 5th, but again, with how slowly Cure has been expanding and slowly setting up, there's no real way in. There's no chinks in the armor of Cure, or at least very few. So we're going to be here for a while. Strap yourselves in, papi. Get some water, boil some water, get some coffee ready. The map is being split in half. You see ByuN killing more of his own Marines, freeing up more supply, getting into Raven production. It's going to be all about the Sky Terran. Like, TVT very quickly, initially is about tank v tank, then about, you know, air versus air, Viking versus Viking. Ravens as well. We'll see if either player starts working towards BCs. Battle Cruisers is like the ultra late game of TVT. We'll see if we head in that direction. Scanning the main. Curie does spot the starports. Is aware. We're getting to the point where, at this game state, most players have killed their own units more than their opponent has. As more Marines are getting killed by ByuN. Tank goes down. Kira slowly breaking out, getting more ground. Catching out more tanks. Trading out Marines. Nice trades here by ByuN. Or by Kira, I should say. But these aren't the most significant of losses. Like, ByuN, he's securing his own bases, double expanding, getting the gold. ByuN has the greater economy. And he can afford some of these losses. Meanwhile, Kira has been building up a bank. Has been more efficient so far. The Marines, they try to go for the dive, unable to. And massive anti-armor missile. Missile does connect. Kira gaining ground. Finally moving out. As he moves out, you can see ByuN going for a counterattack. He goes for a massive run by. Going for the CC, and he will get it. Meanwhile, Kira focusing on the main fight. Gets a tank. But ByuN, can he get more than just one CC? Can he keep going? The planetary is up. Tower goes down, and Kira, he has to respond. As ByuN is dropping into the main. At least he tries to. That's a lot of turrets. Uh-oh. That's a lot of tornado. As we shut down the drops, one Marine makes it out, and not for too much longer. Bold move by ByuN. He was not aware of the ring of turrets. He phase checked. Now he knows. The drops are cleaned up, and now Kira can focus on his main push. Planetary goes down, and more tanks falling as well. ByuN getting picked apart. Losing a lot of tanks. And the planetary as well. Missiles do connect. But Kira has the larger Viking force. Yeah, disables the Vikings as well. Getting another tank. And ByuN is up against the wall. Once again, mass disables on the tanks. Marines are pushing forward. They can't quite get on top of the tanks, though. Have to find another way around. Nice snipes. ByuN gets two Ravens. 2 Ravens go down. Kira overextends. Kira finally gets punished. ByuN takes a better trade. And again, it's still all about that air. The Ravens, the Vikings. Fusion cores on the way. That could be for BCs or for range libs. Both have their place. Secure does throw away a drop, does deny an expansion. CC is cancelled. ByuN still sharking around. ByuN does have a slight Viking lead. 14 Vikings to 10. Cure, he's the one with more Marines, actually. 42 Marines. That I was not quite expecting. Arguably too many Marines. We'll see if that does hurt him in the end. That is a lot of supply. And not Vikings. Marine drop does snipe a tank. Likewise, forcing a response here out of ByuN. Oh, boys are being pulled. But Cure's going to be cleaned up. Again, in this kind of game state, you don't actually need too many SCVs. You're relying a lot on mules instead. So probably a better thing for ByuN to lose SCVs there. Meanwhile, the Vikings, they do clash. Here they go for the dive, and again, we spoke about the Master Marine. The Marine is getting on top of the tanks. The tanks are disabled, and the tanks are going down, one after the other. Here he tries to break through the ground army. Meanwhile, the Vikings, they win for ByuN in the sky. ByuN, he wins the air battle. Kier wins the ground battle. Getting back into more Vikings. I would say that was a better trade for ByuN. It is more important here that he maintains the Ravens and the Vikings. Slowly pushing forward. ByuN breaking out. But another CC is going to fall. ByuN catching 2 more tanks. Not bad. We see the fusion core for the Raven upgrade. Sorry, for the medevac upgrade. Love to see it. He's on the way. Cure trying to respond. And going for the tanks. Does get the Master Sable. I mean, it looks like ByuN wants to get rid of these anyway. The 2 tanks going down. ByuN does catch 2 more Ravens. ByuN once again does take the fight in the air. That is a lot of Marines, though. Cure play like ByuN. Going Master Marine. I mean, it can work. Goes for the Sables. The Marines are pushing forward. Yeah, Cure is gaining ground. There's still 1 tank on the high ground, though. And the tanks they do hold. The goal base is denied. Jesus. ByuN has 24 Vikings. Basically, Cure has given up on the Viking count. He's given up on the air battle. Down to only 5 Vikings. Here, I'd love to see the production tab. As Cure's big advantage is the Marine. At least for now. Again, 24 Vikings is brutal. Cure rotating. He's spotted, scouted. And spotted by the scans. ByuN getting to 3-3 for those Vikings. And yeah, Cure is still making purely Marine. And if the tank count is low enough, then Mass Marine can snowball out of control. Going for the Master Sables. Yeah, ByuN out of position. Oh, the tanks get caught out. Marines stand forward. Yeah, despite ByuN having air control, he has been caught out of position more than a couple of times. Hasn't been able to keep up with the movement of Cure. Cure rotating over. Bleeding out some medevacs. Tanks are trying to keep up. Once again, ByuN having a hard time keeping up with the movement of Cure. Losing another CC. I'm getting deja vu. I feel like we've seen a similar game state between ByuN and Cure before in an ESL Open Cup. ByuN gets some nice disables. Takes down some tanks. Very nice anti missile. Missile does connect. ByuN gaining ground. Still losing and bleeding out a lot of Marines though. And both players doubling down on just replacing as many Marines as possible. Oh, the tanks are exposed. They do on siege. That doesn't matter. It Marines, they stim in, they catch up 3 tanks. Not quite the 4th. 3 more tanks going down. You can see ByuN building up his own bank. Cure has been more efficient for longer, but now it's getting shaky. ByuN does catch another tank. Fighting for another CC. Gold base has yet to be saturated for ByuN. Like, ByuN has been fighting so hard for this gold, and finally he gets up. Trying to get it saturated. Yeah, Cure going for the dive. He's had enough waiting. Disables most of the tanks. Stims on in. And does Cure have enough Marines? It looks like he barely does. Every tank is disabled. And he just cuts through the front line. So many tanks going down. Cure does bleed out a lot of supply doing this. Denies the expansion. Cure remaxing. On Raven Marine. Oh. And ByuN did lose a lot of Ravens in that fight as well. That is concerning. Raven. Oh no! Another Raven! Another Raven goes down. Very nice target firing at a Cure. Like, ByuN's Raven count is very... It's quite low. It's worrisome. Again, the Raven's such a crucial unit here in this kind of game state. And ByuN has bled out quite a lot of them. We'll take another expansion. You can see ByuN burning through his bank. Cure still has some to work with. Skirting around the edge, finding some orbitals. Orbitals are under fire. And ByuN, he ignores it. He's just pushing it out across the map. Is that the gold? CC goes down. Okay, ByuN does respond with some Marines. Yeah, there's no way out of for Cure. He might get another expansion. Nah, he's gonna trade. Marines go down. Nice cleanup from ByuN. But Cure still has a heavy Raven lead. ByuN looking for another opening. Takes down the gold. Not bad. Denies the gold base. Cure unable to expand. ByuN turtling up, throwing down his own ring of turrets. Love to see it. Turrets on the way, both players are remaxed. Kira still has that larger bank. Now ByuN has been able to replace that Raven count. He was making 5 Ravens at a time. His Raven's looking healthy once again. Kira going for a bit of a backstab, actually, going towards the left-hand side. With mainly Raven, though. Uh-oh. Okay, he holds his own. Interesting movement out of Cure. I was curious where he was going. I was like, well, what's the plan, Pappy? Where are we going? Where are we headed? Does pull back. And it does pull back. The goal base is going to be denied. ByuN heavily mining from his own. But again, it's still going to come down to that overall engagement. To the Raven control. Orbital goes down. Cure rotating on the right hand side instead. Wait for the gold. Let's force ByuN to respond. What a Tartar cleaned up. That's a lot of Marine. Both players with a very low SCV counts. Cure skirting around once again. The anti-missile does connect. Will zone him away. Oh my god. We've had pretty even trades overall. And Cure has lost more minerals, like 2,000 more minerals. If I saw that correctly. And in favor of ByuN, Cure sneaking up on the base, goes for the CC. Yeah, ByuN out of position. Command center is going to go down. Oh, even getting a tank as well. 18 SVs, a tank, and he wants more. Yeah, he wants to tank on the high ground. He's going to get it. A very nice pickles here by Cure. Gets one, he wants another. Same time, ByuN going for a counterattack himself. Catching a Raven. We'll try to break through, but yeah, won't gain much ground. Ooh, as Cure is running out of gas, actually. Guys are taking some brutal losses. Oh, actually, he's out of gas geysers. Uh-oh. He's taking some more here at these fresh mining bases. Cure in a bit of trouble. Uh-oh. ByuN has been able to outmine him. Goes pushing forward, takes out more units with some energy, essentially, with auto turrets. And Cure cannot afford to lose this base. He does need it desperately to maintain himself. ByuN is pushing through, cutting Cure off from his own expansion. Cure has to respond. Yeah, the mass Viking just bullying Cure back, denying the Ravens. And in the end, this more Viking base composition from ByuN, it's serving him better. It has allowed ByuN to be that much more efficient. With those Ravens, with the energy-based spells. Denies another CC. Denies the gold. God, that's still a lot of Marines though. Like, one wrong move and ByuN will lose everything. Just one stim is all it takes. And Cure can get under those Ravens. Cure can get under the Ravens, you know what I mean. And here we go, ByuN is being dove upon. Cure commits. Big disables on the tanks, stimming on forward, but oh my god, the missiles are brutal. Cure has to back up. Tries to force the issue, but there's just so many tanks behind this. Cure has to retreat. Now trying to catch another Raven, unable to. Yeah, ByuN just out trading Cure. Shuts down the tanks, and Cure, he's broke. He's just running out of gas. Ah, the base went down, the planetary. Cure, he has one base mining. One base against two. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Cure, he's broke. And, I mean, I appreciate this mass marine style out of Cure. It's very ByuN-esque. Has potential to work, but Cure, long ago, he gave up on the Viking battle. He gave up on the air control, and in the end, that does just fare better in a longer game. That does scale better in a longer game. As ByuN has been so much more efficient. Relying so much more on Ravens, on auto turrets. Sniping Ravens, of course, as well with these Vikings. Better trades. Like this kind of flow of battle, I expect the names to be reversed. Like I've seen ByuN be more stubborn and commit to mass marine more often than not in late game, to his own detriment. But not this time. I appreciate it. Again, ByuN being very mature and being very, very willing to, you know, adjust here, to cure, to adapt. Do love to see it. Well, the tank goes down. Cure has remax, but this is his final army. Does go for the stim. Gets under the tanks. 2, 3 tanks going down. Cure, he wants to get under those Ravens, but unable to. And just barely not. The non-stop missiles on the armies. Another base going down. And Cure's just running out of units, running out of marines. He's out of minerals, out of gas. Oh my god, 36 minutes. I just realized. Very long, very intense game. And Cure just has almost nothing left. Yeah, down to a handful of Marines. He's lost 412. Oh my god! Like, ByuN, is that you? Cure lost 412 Marines against the under 200 of ByuN throughout the course of this game. It's been insane. Just how heavily Marine focused he's been, and it just did not work out well in the end. As the final hurrah here of Cure throws away his final army. The Vikings, they can land for the first time this game. They shut down the force. GG gets called, and ByuN fights back and ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he does fight back in the late game, embracing a more Viking Raven heavy composition, and Cure trying to be cheeky going Mass Marine. Did not work out well, did not find an opening. If you recall earlier, we spoke about how post-youth was not ideal for Mass Marine because there are so few attack paths and so few ways to really bypass the main army. It is a lot more defensive. And Cure, he found that out the hard way. GG. GG, well played. But we are tied up, and as a result, both Team Liquid and Shopify will have to replace their players and field 2 entirely new ones. Now, Team Liquid have 1 player left. It should be Clem. Clem should be coming out next for Team Liquid. I know that we saw a laser on cams, but it should be Clem coming out. Likewise, Shopify have to make a choice. Oh wait, no, my apologies. This is still the first player for Shopify, so they still have Harstem, they have Scarlet, they have Lambo. Shopify, they don't have Harstem. I like how they were watching the TVT and Harstem just left. He was like disinterested. He was like, "Yo, there's a 30-minute TVT going on. I'm gonna go get some food." I'm out of here, papi. Este Harstem. Shaking my head. But we'll see who comes out next. Again, Clem is the obvious choice for Team Liquid. And I'm sure he's just discussing the TVT with Cure. But from Shopify, they have options. They have Harstem, they have Scarlet, and Lambo. Who's it going to be? For now, though, gonna go on a very short break. I'm out of water. I was chugging on my water bottle the entire time, and I do need a little bit more. So we'll see who comes up next. Oh, Harstem's back! He's back! Oh, okay, we are back. And oh my god, we have our players chosen. Of course, Clem is going to be coming out for Team Liquid, and up against him, it is going to be the captain himself. It's going to be Harstem. Let's go. As in the top right-hand corner, we have Harstem for Shopify Rebellion. And in the bottom left, we have Clem for Team Liquid. Oh, the ace player for Team Liquid, the best player in the world. He was popping off last night against Psystorm Gaming. He went for the all-kill and shut down every player on Psystorm Na'Vi. He was able to 2-0 Spirit. He 3-0'd Max Packs. And now, Clem, is he well-rested enough? Has he had enough veg? Is he ready to once again jump into these matches and jump into this tournament? Oh boy, it's a pretty stamina-inducive or stamina-heavy event here over the weekend. 3 days straight of WTL. That's not easy. Can be quite draining. And Clem is coming out here as the third player this time. If you recall, previously we had Clem being the starting player for Team Liquid against Psystorm Na'Vi. But here, against Shopify, he was the last player. Was the third pick. Why is it dark at Harstem and bright at Clem? Clearly, Harstem, he has patched up his windows. He is making sure that no light whatsoever enters the room. Vampire confirmed? Conspiracy? What's going on? But Harstem, he's in his dungeon. Making sure no sunlight does reach him. A proper gamer, really. A proper gamer. Do appreciate it. Clem on the road. No, he's in France. Clem is back home. So here we go. We are settling in. And we're getting to our openers. It is going to be double gas opener out of Clem into Factory. Meanwhile, Harstem going for a Gate Cyber Expand. Standard opener out of Harstem so far. The Probe does avoid the Reaper. Going to be able to get a scatter across the map. Meanwhile, the Reaper slips into the main. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen Harstem in a bright room. Like, obviously, like, there's light shining on Harstem, but it's obviously, it's like a, you know, a light, artificial light, I should say. I don't think I've ever seen sunlight in Harstem's room. Maybe I haven't seen enough of Harstem's content. Maybe, maybe sometimes he has the curtain drawn, and he has, like, you know, some vitamin D entering the room. It's possible. I haven't seen it myself. We are heading out. Do you see Clem going for his more delayed CC on the low ground, getting into his 1-1-1, going for drop play. Meanwhile, Harstem, his deck of choice is going to be a Twilight Council into Blink. Now, what I love about Harstem is that he's not the most standard of players. Harstem, he does often kind of come up with his own builds. He does come up with his own quirks as well. Harstem is a very stylistic player, so I'm curious how he approaches this. As the Reaper gets a probe kill in the main base and gets a full scout in the main, Clem is aware of Blink. Clem fully aware of what's going on. And how many gateways get thrown down? 2 extra gates on the way. It's going to be 3-gate Blink out of Harstem. It is quite safe. It's going to be enough to gain map control to move out across the map. And to expand and take a third. Meanwhile, Clem moving out with this drop. Going to be a mass marine drop towards the main. Oh, sorry, towards the natural. But Harstem's in position. There's a shield battery as well. There's an overcharge. Oh, nice juggling here out of Clem. Mind Shot going off, takes down the Adept. Oh, and a hot pickup out of Clem. He does save all of his units, or most of his units, bleeding out 2 Marines, but does escape with everything else. Not a bad trade. Once again, Clem diving into the main, making sure he has an eye on the gateway count. Does confirm only 3 gateways. And Clem is going to be getting ready back at home. Tank production has begun. Bunkers finishing up as well. Clem is getting ready for Harstem's counterattack. And he's still being active with that drop. Still being active. Making his way towards the main. So far there's just the one tank at the natural, but there's soon to be a tank in the main. And once Harstem pull the trigger, once he does pull the trigger, I'm sure Clem is going to be poised to dive into the main base of Harstem as well. As Harstem is blinking to the main! And can he deny Stim? Drop does come in. Harstem into the main base, going for the mineral line. Prob's going to be shut down. Harstem will catch some SCVs. One SCV falls. And the gas geyser as well. Couple more volleys and it will fall. Not bad. Gas geyser, one worker. But it looks like Harstem won't get much more than that. It doesn't like his chances against his bio army, against the tank as well. Harstem will retreat. And Clem drops back in. Yeah, the drop has still not been dealt with. Wouldn't mind did go down, but the Marines have not. And they focus down another 3, another 4 probes. Oh my god! This is getting out of hand. 5 probe kills. For what? For a Widowmine and 1 Marine so far. Medevac is pinned back. But Clem doing as much, if not more damage than what Harstem did with his 3-gate blink. With that 1 Medevac. Harstem taking his 3rd base. Harstem still has the Prism alive. He can still threaten the mineral lines and still find some damage. And he needs to. Does get an SCV. Delays the eBay. Not bad. Delays +1 by a couple of seconds. Jump is forced out. Behind this, we see our tech of choice. So Harstem is not going into Colossus yet. Working towards the Temple Archives, Charge Lot, Archon, and Storm. Okay. Harstem working on a very gateway-heavy composition. It's getting there. Likewise, Harstem does threaten another drop. Still has that War Prism active on the map. Storm is now on the way. You know, Clem getting into its own 3rd TC. The game is going to calm down for a moment here. We have a bit of a lull period, a bit of a calm before the storm. Literally and figuratively. But this is a calm before the storm. CC's on the way. And we'll see if Harstem moves out to try to hit a storm timing. Likewise, Clem moving out as well. Storm still halfway done. The Prism is poised to counterattack and hit the natural. Clem forcible back home. His move out is delayed. Very important here. Harstem buying time for Storm. Photo charge at the natural doesn't get much done. Harstem does defend. He defends, he holds. And because he forced the army to turn back around, Storm is now done. Storm is ready for the fight. Okay. Harstem has the tools to defend, but it does come down to the execution. Clem pushing forward, scans ahead of time. Do we have a Storm? We do. Mine just going off. We just tried to dive on top of the army, but the Prism goes down. Nice spread here from Clem. He does focus on the High Templar. And Clem, he's breaking through. Shuts down the Zealots. High Templar now getting on top of the Stalkers. Overcharge gets popped. The overcharge does force back the army. Just barely. Not even. No, we're fighting out of range. Harstem fighting out of range of the overcharge at the same time. Drop in towards the natural base, and Clem is breaking through. He barely has enough. More Zealots being warped in. Widowmines have arrived. GG gets called as Harstem is broken, and Clem takes game 1. GG. A very intense game 1 there. Again, the initial opener of Harstem wasn't able to get much done across the map. Clem did a surprising amount of economic damage early on with his 1 medevac of Marines. It was very impressive. And here in this final fight as well, even though we had those storms, we only had 1 set of storms available for Harstem. I should say 2 storms in total. They were decent connections, but didn't have much more behind it. Again, had the overcharge, but was fighting out of range of the overcharge as well. Clem just pulling apart the attention of Harstem and taking advantage of him with that GG. GG, well played. Clem does take the first game, but it's a best of 2. And I wouldn't believe that Harstem has a special build ready for the next game. I do want to believe. As we have our map of choice, it is going to be, Side Delta. Okay. It is going to be Side Delta coming up next. It is, of course, Harstem's map pick. Let's go. All right, jumping in and spawning in the right-hand corner, we have Harstem for Shopify. And in the top left, we have Clem for Team Liquid. Here we go. We're going to be calming down. We're going to be settling in into game number 2. And my eyes have to be on Harstem here. Game 1 was 3-gate blink. It was 3-gate blink into a third into storm and charge. But I want to imagine that Harstem has a more specialized build ready here in game 2. Again, Shopify, they've had some extra time. They've had extra days to prepare, to plan on how to deal with the problem that is Clem. Lambo himself said that they did have some strategies ready. Did have some. Clem, he's eating cereal. Clem, he's eating cereal while playing against Harstem. Oh my god. Sipping on some coffee as well. Clem, he's eating breakfast at the same time. I mean, I'm sure he's a little bit hungry. I'm sure he just woke up, but still, happy. Ay, ay, ay. Give Harstem all your attention. Oh my god. Have we seen that before? I know there's been, like, you know, the infamous incidents with Lava, for example, you know, playing with his feet and stuff like that. Have we had an event where in a pro tournament, like, imagine, like, we're at, like, DreamHack Dallas and they're playing games on stage and you have, like, Clem with a bowl of cereal while he's playing. Oh my god. He's crazy, Bob. He's crazy. Meanwhile, Clem going for the bunker on the low ground. In the mineral line, we'll see if Harstem can keep up. Does he even have pants on? Of course not, of course not. He's a proper gamer, Pappy. As the bunker is denied, SCV went down. Nice pick off here from Harstem. The Adept has arrived. Won't be disrupted too much. Oh my god! Oh my god! The kiting! Clem, calm down! The Reaper does outrange the Adept. And with that, got a lot of extra hits there. My god. Clem will pull away. Meanwhile, behind this, Harstem going for his tech of choice. Going to be a Stargate, a proxy Stargate at the Harstem. Okay, bold move. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. We have had celebrations where, like, after a player wins a game, they, like, sip on coffee, or they eat an Oreo, or they, like, drink a bottle of honey, eating Doritos. Like, that has happened before as a part of a ceremony, but in the middle of a game, like, that's what's crazy. This guy stutter stepping all over your army, splitting Marines, while he's, like, hoofing down a donut, or, like, eating some bacon and eggs. Like, ay. Clem, you don't have to style this hard, you know? Ay. Well, eating some Macca's. Meanwhile, Harstem, interesting. So I was really excited about this game because, again, Harstem came in with a specialized build. It is not just proxy Stargate. I assumed it was going to be for Oracle, but no, he's massing Void Rays. We have seen this from Harstem in the past. Is massing Void Rays and getting ready for it all in. 2 Void Rays coming forward. Meanwhile, the scout is denied. Clem is in the dark. As the Hellion goes in for a dive as well. Clem looking for the tech. He will see nothing. No Twilight Council, no Robo, no Stargate. Something is wrong and the Void Rays have been revealed. Clem now knows. Is aware Void Rays going for the add-ons. Stim is not done. Bear that in mind. The Marines, they cannot keep up. The Void Rays should not go down to these Marines without Stim. I started stepping out of Clem. Reactor under fire. At the same time, mine drop here across the map. Oh, and Clem, he gets so much value. He does on Burrow, going for the main. Just keeping Harstem distracted. Harstem does pull away. Only 2 probe kills. Not bad. Good reactions out of Harstem. But this entire time, the Voiders have been left idle. And now we have Vikings. We have Cyclones. Clem is now more prepared, and the Voiders have to recall back home. Clem has defended. And now I'm scared for Harstem. This build, going for Proxy Void Ray, needed to get more done. The reason why? There's no blink. There's no, like, the tech was delayed. There's no oracles to harass, there's no fiends to shut down the drops. There are no blink stalkers either, no charge, no +1. So much tech was delayed for these Void Rays, and it hasn't been worth it yet. Maestro goes off, takes down to the probe. And I worry about the move outs. I worry about when Clem does push across the map. So Medevac is going to be cleaned up. Stim is almost done. What a great way to wake up. And here comes the move out. And this is what I'm concerned by. I don't know if Harstem can defend against this. Has a shield battery, has an overcharge. Clem, I don't know if you saw Clem, he had his hands off the keyboard for a moment. That's why they zoomed in. He was like stretching, just waking up, just rolled out of bed. Like, give me a minute. He's like, oh my god. Clem, calm down. I do appreciate that the production team did notice as well. They've noticed the demeanor of Clem here. Ah. As Clem, he doesn't counterattack. I was concerned about his move out, but no, Clem is holding back. He's chilling back at home. Again, I'm sure he's feeling pretty confident given the game state, considering how late these upgrades are going to be for Harstem. And Harstem is rushing towards the bay, rushing towards Colossus. And Clem is now moving out. The upgrades have kicked in. See, not him in the chat. Oh no, the TikTok memes. Very mindful, very demure. That is Clem in a nutshell. True. Not wrong. Hi. So you see in the chat, Clem shows up with a hibachi and air fryer, cooks up a 7-course meal while dismantling his opponents. I want to see that. I want to see Clem have a mukbang stream while he's competing in, like, DreamHack. Let's go. The content. As again, we do see Clem taking a more passive approach here after defending against the initial Void Race. He's just establishing himself on 3 bases. Clem building up. And you can see here, this now reflected in the supplies. Clem does have a 30 supply lead. And he's just, you know, calming things down. No rush. No harm, no foul. I'm just calming things down, building up, and getting ready for his eventual move out. This time with Ghost, it looks to be the case. Waiting for his Ghosts, waiting for his EMPs. No need to overextend. Drop gets into the 4th, forces a cancel. Nicely done by Clem. Does cancel the expansion. Meanwhile, Harstem going into additional robo production, double robo into disruptors. And both armies, I was going to say both armies will be maxing out soon. Clem will be the first to max out. We'll see if Harstem can keep up. And disruptors are getting ready. It's going to be all about those Novas. First Nova goes off. Up! Clemmy goes for the dive. Oh, he does focus on both disruptors. Oh my god! The disruptors go down and Clemmy has no fear. He will take a Nova to the face. Does misjudge for a moment. But despite that, Clem still has a massive supply lead. Despite the Nova, is still breaking through. And turns back around, shuts down the Stalkers. Overcharge gets popped, but we're fighting out of range of the overcharge. And Harstem, he barely has an army standing, down to 2 Colossus. Another jump towards the 4th base. Harstem is being pulled apart. 4th base will stand strong. Does survive. See Clem rallying across the map, waiting for reinforcements. Waiting for an extra wave. He's going to be forced back, has to respect the disruptors. But the first Nova is now on cooldown. No! It's on cooldown, and Clem, he avoids the main army, goes for the 4th. Takes down another shield battery. Harstem, he's holding on. He does force Clem back. Holds on to the 4th. Clem does need a little bit more time to rally together his army. To bring everything together here. So still just building up. Clem maxed out. Clem might be maxed, but again, a lot of his army supply is still back at home. Looks like he was getting ready for a run-by. A run-by that never came. So now he can reinforce. And it's still on Harstem to defend, to survive. He survived the first push, the first wave. What about the second? What about the second as Harstem is pinned back at home? Still maintains its 3 Colossus. Pushing into disruptors, never easy. Overcharge gets popped. Army breaking out. Colossus putting in a lot of DPS in the back line. Let's go. Harstem's holding. I believe going for a Zealot run-by. Runs into Planetary. Clem does defend. Harstem does rotate. You can see the Zealot run-by get towards the north. Going for the 3rd. And Clem, does he have any units here at the... He has a bunker. Okay. He has a bunker in position. Stimming on forward. Nova doesn't quite connect. That's Zealot run-by. Doesn't get much done. Nova is not going to connect either. Disruptor goes down. And so the Colossus. One after the other. 1 Colossus remaining. Okay, Clem, he stims on forward. Takes another Nova to the face. But still just might have too much anyway. As the final Colossus finally goes down. Clem has to back off. Does have to retreat. Harstem holds. Unfortunately, he's down to 0 Colossus. He has 2 Disruptors remaining, and that's really what he's relying upon. It's all about those Purification Novas. It's the only thing keeping Harstem in these games. In this game even. We have to make them count. First Nova goes off. Ooh, 2 Novas. There's 1 Nova left. A little bit trigger happy. It is a little bit concerning. Overcharge gets swapped. There's a final Nova. Another Disruptor comes out. And Harstem does buy time. But now no Novas remaining. The 3rd base has been broken. And the 3rd base is going to fall. DT counterattack is gaining ground. Does get some SCVs. But Clem has reinforcements. Oh, the splits! Oh my god! Calm down! The splits from Clem, he will take it over and he does bleed out 1 Marauder, but that's just 1 Marauder. It's fine, he can afford those losses. Going for the natural, going for the kill. Nova goes off, GG gets called, and Clem will take the 2-0. GG. He's finishing up his coffee. He's finishing up his breakfast. I wonder if he already ate all of his cereal. He's getting there, he's getting there. But with that GG, well played. Clem looking strong here, able to bounce back, takes out Harstem 2-0. And that means we have 1 player left for Shopify. We have 1 player remaining. ByuN has fallen, Harstem has fallen. And now it comes down to a Zerg player. Comes down to either Lambo or Scarlet. Lambo or Scarlet coming up next here against Clem. Who's it going to be? It's going to come down to their confidence in in going up against Clem and taking a map as well. Bearing in mind there is going to be a revive after this, true. There is going to be a revive available, but we'll get there when we get there. Clem has yet to drop a map the entire weekend. And we'll see if either Lambo or Scarlet can pull that off. I'm sure the team is going to be deliberating amongst themselves, trying to piece together who is it going to be. And who rises to the challenge? Okay, it's going to be the captain himself, the captain of his team, Lambo. Okay, Lambo is stepping up. Is going to face off against Clem, and game 1 is on post youth. Oh boy. Here we go. Lambo, of course, the man of the hour. The biggest brain in all of Europe himself. Was, of course, watching, dissecting, analyzing the matches that Clem had at EWC. I'm curious if Lambo has concocted a strategy, a plan to bring Clem down. Oh boy. We'll see what the plan is going to be. Again, the first map is predetermined. That's another big factor coming into the player of choice, I'm sure. It's going to be post-youth. Now, as a reminder, if Clem gets the 2-0, then he will maintain himself and he forces a revive. If it's a 1-1 scoreline, then Team Liquid going to be forced to revive a player as well. Both teams are on their third player. They're both on their third. Here we go. But of course, now the scary thing is that this time, this is a Clem who's been fed. Against Harstem, he was still in the middle of eating, but now the food has been digested. Clem, he's powered up, and we're jumping in. In the top right-hand corner, we have Lambo for Shopify. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Clem for Team Liquid. The current best player in the world, the reigning world champion, has yet to drop a map since EWC. I think after day 1 of WTL, I think Wax Angel did post a tweet talking about how Clem has gone 20-0 in competitive matches ever since his series against Raynor. I remember Raynor was, he responded, he was like, wow, conveniently leaving me out, huh? And Wax Angel was like, yeah. Hi. Raynor was the last to take a map off of Clem. Since then, we'll see if Lambo can step up. I mean, in a way, Lambo is Raynor's coach. True. Not wrong. In a sense, if Raynor can make Clem bleed, can Lambo do the same? We'll see. We're here to find out. For now, hatch gas pool. Oh wait, no, my apologies. It is going to be a gasless opener out of Lambo. Ooh. Okay, very greedy move here from the Zerg player. So Lambo going for a hatch pool hatch opener, going gasless. We have seen this quite frequently on maps like Golden Aura, on maps like Post Youth. Just a very greedy way to open up, and this usually leads into roach play. The reason why this leads into roaches is because without any gases, link speed is heavily delayed. A heavy delay on link speed, so usually you just skip links. You just skip links entirely, you defend with purely Queen and with roaches. As Lambo will eventually get into his own gas income. So Lambo just cutting a lot of corners. Again, because he's not taking gases, that means extra mineral income. And he's going to have to defend with purely Queens. Until then, though, the Reaper does get into the mineral line. Will threaten the drones. Drone force to morph into a Spore. Nice save there from Lambo. Likewise, Ling's in position. Ooh, the Reaper does take some extra hits. And Clem will check, will confirm the timing of the third hatchery. The fact that it's almost done already is a big tell us what's to come. And Clem, he responds with a third CC. So it is going to be 3 CC before Starport. Very economic opener here out of Clem. Very economic opener. Oh. going to be forced back. Behind this working is 1-1-1. Reaper trying to find some economic damage, but so far Lambo is holding his own. He does well. Lambo, he defends his mineral line, he gets away with his opener with the gases style. And the question from here becomes, is Lambo going to go for a big all-in off of Roach Tech, or does he go for a macro game, just defending with Roaches initially and getting to, you know, a longer game state? Before that happens, Clem, he threatens a dive, doesn't go for it. He thought about it. Dipping into the main. Hellion to support. Unless Lambo does defend. Does defend, does survive. Again, Clem is still looking for a weak point, but again, the other good thing about Post-Youth is that because the Natural and the main base share a ramp, it is that much easier to defend with purely Queen. Link speed is being researched. Interesting. No Roach Warren. So Lambo going gasless into Link speed. Okay. Into Link Bane. So Lambo taking a bit of a different approach this time. There we go. Bailey Nest is thrown down. Observer does confirm. So it is going to be Link Bane here from Lambo. A lot of the Lings are kept hidden. They are kept further back. Keeping an eye on the gas count, I'm curious, is Lambo crazy enough to go into Muta play? I mean, no Evo chambers yet, but Lambo's still taking extra gases. We'll see. As the Banshee does hit the natural, gets 2 drones, not a bad start. For the time being, only 3 gases. Okay, only 3 gases from Lambo. There we go. Double Evo chamber. It's not going to be Spire Tech. It's going to be Link Bane. For now, at least. Skin reveals the Bailey Nest, double Evo chamber, the lair on the way as well. Clem now is aware that, of course, there are no roaches. So he knows not to be too tank heavy. Just focusing on his bio. Does focus on his bio. No Hydrogen, no Spire. Ooh, we do catch a couple of transferring workers, but I was curious if Lambo was going to go Ling Bane into Hydras or not, and it looks like we're going Ling Bane into Ultra. We'll see if a Hydrogen gets run down. Meanwhile, oh my god, 11 drones go down! The Hellions alongside the Banshees, they catch 11 workers, a massive amount of damage. Banshees, they do get eyes on the Infestation Pits. Clem is aware of the rush in towards Hive Tech. As one Banshee finally goes down, but that is still 14 drone kills. I say 14, 15! 5th base is denied. Lings, they come in for a surround. They catch 2 of the Hellions. Just 2, though. Hive now on the way. Still no Hydrogen. Looking more and more like Ultras. As Clem is now moving out, not just with Hellion Banshee, but now with some drop play, with some Marines. Up until this point, has been keeping them back at home. Mine shot is denied. Widow Mine goes down. But Clemmy stims on forward. Where are the Banelings in already? Uh-oh. Banelings now trickling in. Marines, they try to get surrounded, but alas. The Marines are picked up. They get the hell out of there. And they force them to fight off of creep. But Clem is forced back. Lambo holds. Defends the gold. Hive about to finish. Again, no other tech of choice. Not yet. But Clemmy keeps the pressure up. Do keep most of his Marines alive. Nice target firing. Gets 2 Banelings. He just doesn't stop. Doesn't slow down. Drilling claws on the way. And he will catch 2 Queens. Oof. 2 Queens go down. The Spore as well. And there it is. There's the Ultra Cavern that we did mention before. It's going to be Ling Bane into Ultra. which can work quite well. The downside of this composition from Lambo is the lack of anti-air. As you can imagine, without Hydras, without Mutas, drop play can get out of hand. It's a really good way to abuse this style. To abuse the lack of units that shoot up. But for now, Lambo's keeping up. Does force back the main army. Reinforcements on the way towards the gold base, towards the mineral line. Widow Mines will power. The mine shots are going to go off. Up! Up! Oh my god. Decent connection, but nothing major. Lambo, he pulls away in time. 2 more Widow Mines have burrowed. Oh, much better connections. And the Queens are getting caught out as well. Lambo getting pulled apart. We spoke about the drop play earlier. And the drop play is getting into full swing. Lambo forcing back the army in the right. Meanwhile, Clem jumping into the main. Once again, Lambo does keep up. Ultra Cabin is done. Ultra Production's on the way. Viper and Infestor as well. But Lambo is still under so much pressure. Here comes the Fungal! Catches the Marines! Not bad, but the target firing, ooh, takes down a Baneling. The 5th base goes down, and there's barely any creep spread. Because of just how much pressure Lambo's been under. So much pressure, so much aggression. Mine shells don't quite go off. But Clem, he's unrelenting. Denying the base. Ultras are coming up, but they don't have upgrades. Yeah, they're 1-1 Ultras. Kindness plating still in the way. Ultras, they need time. Ooh, oh my god, speaking of, the mine shells, they take down the Ultra. The Ultras melt. They need the upgrades. As you can see, even the Mass Marine Army takes down another Ultra. Oh my god. You don't see that too often. But the Ultras, they melt before the Marines. Powerbomb does connect, but alas, Clem, he pulls away. Does split his units. And Lambo gonna try to engage. Massive mine shot going off. So many links going down. And Lambo just cannot keep up. You can see the supplies here. Here it doesn't lie. Clem skyrocketing ahead. He's maxed out. Hands off the hands off the keyboard. No hands, papi. Don't forget to stretch, of course. And making sure he's good to go. As you see Lambo going for a big link. Counterattack will catch some SCVs. Does drag Clem back home. Worker damage is being dealt. But this is a bit of a desperation move out of Lambo. This is all he has left to just buy time. Kindness plating finally is done. And this is going to be all or nothing for Lambo. He's got a decent amount of Ling Bane. He's got 2 Ultras, soon to be 4. And he does commit into Liberation Zones. Oh my god. Yeah, the freedom is brutal. Ling Bane crumbles, and now it's only the Ultras remaining. We have some Banelings coming in, but GG gets called. There's just not enough left, and Clem will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played, Clem. Does take the first game, and now the pressure is on Lambo. Now, thankfully, it is going to be Lambo's map pick. It is going to be his map choice, and depending on the map, I'm curious. I'm excited to see what he has planned. What does he have planned here? Winding it back a little bit, the initial opener was quite solid from Lambo. If you remember, he did get away with his gasless opener into his hatch pool hatch build, going into Ling Bane, of course. Unfortunately, as Lambo was working towards Ultras, Clem, he did recognize what was going on, and he just ramped up the aggression. He was just hyper active with those drop plays, or with those drops, and did pull Lambo apart. Again, as you mentioned, this is the big weakness of going Ling Bane into Ultra, is your lack of anti-air and your lack of map control in a sense. And Clem was just all over Lambo, so fast, so aggressive, and did pull him apart in the end. GG. GG, well played. But again, I do appreciate that Lambo did take a different approach. I do appreciate that he went for a different build, went for a different style. Something that is not standard. And we'll see what is not standard in Game 2. We shall see. as we are going to be getting ready here. I'm curious, what would Lambo go for? If he has a cheeky build, Dynasty? Oh, Golden Ore. Okay. I was curious. If we saw Dynasty, I was like, yo, is Lambo going to go for the Raynor build? Is he going to go for the German Taxi Queen Roach all-in on Dynasty instead? But alas, no, we're going to be loading into Golden Ore instead. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have Lambo for Shopify. And in the top left, we have Clem for Team Liquid. We go. We are settling into game 2. And again, my eyes are on Lambo. Now, if Lambo were to open up Gasless again, this is not a bad map for it. This is one of the most common maps we have seen Zerg players open up Gasless into Hatchery, Pool, Hatchery, into Roach play. So I'm curious if we see something similar, or if Lambo goes for a standard opener instead. We shall see. The reason for this is because of how close the natural and the third base is to each other, like Russia's spike round-wise. So because that, we have seen a lot of players just defend with purely Queen. But not this time, as Lambo is going Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener this time from Lambo. Okay. He had some fun in the last game going gasless, but this time he's going to calm things down and open up standard. It does make sense. If you're watching EWC, you would know that Cyril did attempt multiple times to open up gasless against Clem on this map, and he was punished. He was punished real hard, real quick by Clem with these massive Hellion dives. Did cripple Cyril early on. So Lambo doesn't risk it. If Cyril struggles against the early game aggression of Clem, then Lambo is like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to test it. Not going to try my luck. We're calming down. As we are settling in. Again, Lambo going Hatch Gas Pool into a third base. Everything looking standard from the side of Lambo. But just because the opener is standard, I'm curious where this leads us. I mentioned before that I'm sure Lambo has a specialized build ready for Clem. I'm curious as to what it's going to be. Reaper dips in. Gets 2 links so far, not bad. 2 links go down. Clem, aware that the queen's about to pop, will respect it, will pull away. Does pull back. Reaper does try to bypass into the main base, but the last is going to be deterred. Clem just scouting for extra gases, scouting for a Roach Warren. Clem not ruling out the possibility of Lambo going for an all-in. And we can see Lambo's just playing standard. Behind this third CC before Starports, economic opener out of Clem. Starport now on the way. Starport on the way for Clem, and yeah, we're just going to be easing our way into game 2. No big divergences yet. We could see Lambo try to make use of a different kind of tech path, working into Muta play. Could try to rush into Ultras. Oh, sorry, into Lurkers. I didn't see Ultra play this time from Lambo. After what happened in the last game, usually you do want to try to avoid going for the same kind of build 2 games in a row in a series like this. Banshees are in production. See Clem poking into the third, going for the mineral line, gets 1 drone. At the same time, Lambo, he slips into the main, he gets a full scout, he confirms the third CC, he confirms Cloak being researched, and now Lambo knows to get ready with those spores and get ready with those queens. We can see Lambo going for a lair opener. Making a very safe play out of Lambo. If you want to be greedy, he could have gone for faster Evo chambers, but no, Lambo's going for the lair, going to Banelings, prioritizing Baneling speed. As Clem is poking in and out, rotating between the bases. He's going for the dive. He breaks through the lings, bypasses the queens, going for the mineral line instead. And drones are somewhat lining up. It's going to be 4 drone kills so far. Nice spread from Lambo, but the Hellions get into the main. They bust into the main base, and we are not done. More drones getting roasted. Boys are being pulled away. 8 drone kills so far. And so far, I mean, not bad here from Clem. Down to 1 Hellion, so he should be cleaned up. But not without getting 1 more drone kill. Oof, doesn't quite get it. But 8 drones, bearing in mind that Hellions don't scale amazingly into a longer game. 6 Hellions for 9 drones, and a lot of lings. Not the worst damage dealt here to Lambo. He's going to be able to hold on, sustain himself, build back up. We're okay. We're okay. This Lambo is redroning. And there it is. I was curious. I was like, mate, we have to have a plan. There's no shot that Lambo's just playing standard this game against Clem. And he's not. Spire play. You don't see mutas too often in ZVP anymore. Ooh, as the Banshees are able to get some damage done. Going for the Queen. Don't quite get it, though. Banshees have to back off. But you most often see Muta play on Amphion. Amphion is a pretty good map for mutas, and there's a reason why we see it more often than not. But we're going to be seeing it here on Goldenrod instead. We'll see if Lambo can keep it hidden. For the time being, Clem has not scouted the tech. He's unaware. Clem is in the dark. And mutas are very high risk, high reward. Like mutas, if they get scouted, they have a really hard time getting any damage done. They're so fragile as well, so expensive. But if they go unscouted, they can pop off. As the Banshees are making their way into the main. The Spire hidden behind the main base mineral line. Uh-oh. And the Banshees, they might be able to scout. Oh, for now, though. Gonna be denied. Banshees being forced back. Meanwhile, Clem moving out with his main 7-minute push. Stim is done. Combat shields. Clem is moving forward. It does him in. Going for the queens. Gets 1, gets 2. Oh my god, gets all 3. It gets all 4 queens. Some late reactions. Oh my, the target firing. Insane damage. The mutas are revealed. And Clem gets so much value there. 4 queens and a line of banelings. That was insane. The mutas will eventually shut this down. But Clem, he's just rallying across. Oh, full medevac falls. But without banelings, Lamb in trouble. He needs banelings desperately. Does need them. Pulling his lings back. There we go. Combat shields now on the way. I was looking earlier and I was like, I don't see any shields on these Marines. There we go. Now on the way. Thor as well. Let's go. Nice thing run by here by Lambo. Catching a tank. Not bad. 1 tank goes down. Distracting reinforcements. Likewise, mutas, they catch some reinforcements as well. Marine here and there in SCV. No major economic damage. Oh, and Clem, he's hunting those mutas. He wants them. Trying to cut them off. Lambo is aware. Does pull away. Now building up a more decent Lingbane army. Going for the dive. Clem will get away. Will manage to slip away, and it looks like Clem won't commit to a move out anytime soon. He's still waiting for Drilling Claws. He has his first Thor up and running, waiting for 2-2. And we'll see if Lambo can break the defenses of Clem. Gets 2 Banshees. Not a bad start. Banshees go down. Lambo building a more Lingbane. The Thor getting caught out for a moment, so we'll tank some shots though. Yeah, it does tank a lot of the banelings, and with that, the banelings, they run out, and Clem, he can push in. Barely any banelings left. Muta's going to try to counterattack, going to try to buy some time, but Lambo's in trouble. Lambo does slip in, does avoid the mine shots. Clem actually pulling back home. Okay. Oh my god. The mine shot was brutal. Muta's taking a lot of damage. Clem scanning, looking for the fresh mining base. And Clem is rotating towards the right-hand side. bleeding out 5 SCVs. The creep is looking decent on the right-hand side for Lambo. It's okay. It's about to be cleaned up. And Clem making his way towards the hatchery. Towards the 5th. Oh, we got some okay bailing connections. Baiting out the mine shots as well. But reinforcements have arrived. And again, Clem, he wants that hatchery. Oh, takes a bailing to the face. Oh my god, the mine shots! The mine shots are brutal. And what is there left? There's 2 bailings remaining. And that's not enough. Not enough bailings here that will not stop the Marines. GG gets called. There's nothing left here for Lambo. And Clem will take the 2-0. GG, well played. Clem will take it and gets the double kill. See someone asking in the chat, did Clem go back to the Korea? No. Trigger is alone. Smooch. We were asking Trigger earlier. So for those that are curious, some foreign players, specifically Trigger, Estrella, Future, and Clem, they all rented an Airbnb together. They were living in Korea together before EWC. Post EWC, a lot of them have come back, but Trigger did stay a little bit longer, and it was so sad. I was messaging Trigger last week, and I was like, "Papi, are the other players there with you?" And he's like, "No, I'm all alone." It's like, ah. So Trigger did spend some extra time in Korea, but should soon be coming back home as well. Again, the players' time in Korea was just to prepare for EWC, just to train. As, oh, it looks like we're going on a break here. I mean, it does make sense. Our players will need some time. Clem gets the 2-0, and that means that Shopify need to revive. No. It is on Shopify to now revive a player. Who's it going to be? Their ace player is ByuN, so ByuN would make the most sense in this kind of game state. And they also spoke about how Clem's weakest matchup is TVT. So ByuN would make sense here, but we'll see what the plan is going to be for Shopify. Let's go. As you can see, the players are deliberating. We have Scarlet, of course. Scarlet has been lying in wait as well. Potential Scarlet pick. Possible. Got Harstem, Lambo as well. ByuN, he's smiling. Who feels the most confident stepping up to the plate here? It's gotta be the TVT, right? It has to be. Oh, we'll see. Now, as a reminder, the way this format works, because this is a revived player, whoever gets revived needs to 2-0. If they drop one map, that's the end of the series. One map is all it takes. We get the zoom in on ByuN. Talking it out with his teammate, I'm sure. With his teammates, even. Trying to figure out what the plan is. They're like, Papi, you have to TVT Clem. And ByuN's like, I did just beat Cure. True. ByuN did just defeat Cure. I mean, went 1-1, and there it is. There it is. It is going to be the Terran versus Terran matchup. Again, it is Clem's weakest matchup, so if he were ever to falter, this is where it would be. The best chance to bring Clem down. As Shopify has spent their revive. Bearing in mind, if Clem goes down here, Team Liquid still have a revive left as well. They still have a revive remaining. Is this a rerun? This is live. Hello. Sarah Sarah in the chat. Sarah him, even. Welcome. Bienvenidos. But we weren't able to cast this live. We weren't able to cover this live last night, so we are going over replays. This is a replay cast for us here on the CranKy Ducklings, and we're jumping in. In the top left-hand corner, we have ByuN for Side Delta. And in the bottom right, we have Clem for Team Liquid. Let's go. Here we go. But again, last night we had a 13-hour cast. We were... Oh, let's go! We're going for the Proxy 2-Rex! I was going to say, last night we were live for 13 hours. We were casting the House Galactic Battle. Because of that, we were the main English stream for the Polish event. We weren't able to cover Day 2 live of WTL, which is why we're catching up via replays. And after catching up, we'll be jumping into Day 3 live. as day 3 will be starting up in like 3 hours time. So now we're settling in. Here we go, 2-Rack Reaper out of ByuN. And we'll see if he can break his opponent. Clem opening up double gas. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so because Clem is opening up double gas, he's going for a faster factory. It's going to be a faster factory, faster Hellion production out of Clem. Clem has the tools to defend, but this is going to come down to the micro, to the control between ByuN and Clem. As there's going to be these small windows where ByuN will have the Reaper advantage and the Reaper lead over Clem. Meanwhile, it's going to be on Clem to pull the boys as well to save the first Reaper to make sure he doesn't lose it. Bearing in mind that, fun fact, earlier today, Kior did actually defeat ByuN with this, where ByuN did have some miscontrol and ByuN ended up, or Kior snowballed out of control and took the game off of ByuN. So how the turns do table. Here we go. And here we go. We do scout, we do confirm. Clem is aware, he pulls away. Does take some extra hits, but again, he has to pull the boys. Ooh, as Clem is going to lose the Reaper. It's so close, it's so low. The Reaper one shot away from going down. Second Reaper has arrived. The factory needs to finish. And the factory barely does complete. Hellion's now on the way. ByuN's on a timer. And I can't believe that Reaper for Clem is still alive. The second Reaper on the way. ByuN trying to keep the production, but he has to pull back. Ooh, and he loses the Reaper! Oh my god! One Reaper goes down, second Reaper goes down, and ByuN gets shut down. Ay, ay, ay. He's gonna be forced back, he is cleaned up, the Hellion is coming out, and Clem is holding. Ooh. Yeah, Clem, he will shut this down. The final Reaper of ByuN will fall. And with this, Clem has a worker lead. Clem, he's getting into more Reapers. And ByuN's in a rough position. He's already transitioning. We can see ByuN, he's rallying back home, getting a factory. It was so important for Clem to keep that first Reaper alive for as long as he did. It was impressive. I was shocked. I was for certain that ByuN was going to be able to snipe it. But alas, did get away. And we'll see how Clem responds. Clem already expanding, getting his CC back at home. Much faster expansion for Clem. Faster transition into Starport as well. So Clem, he does have quite a lead here in workers and economy and tech as well. Oh boy, this is not going to be an easy game to recover from ByuN, but he's on the road to recovery. He's rallying back home. Clem is about to move out with a drop. Medevac is on the way. Again, Clem is going to be the aggressor now, and ByuN has to be the defender. It's going to be on ByuN to defend, to survive. Oh boy. Being very proactive, actually, moving out with the Reapers. Bold move. I mean, I do like this. Ideally, ByuN wants to keep Clem at home for as long as possible. Medevac does spot the Reapers. And Clem doesn't care. Just keeps rallying. He has plenty at home to defend. As we can see, ByuN getting ready back at home, rallying his Cyclones. Clem boosting in. Second Cyclone has arrived. With 2 Cyclones, ByuN should be okay. Should be okay. Has the Cyclone lead. Rax being as annoying as possible. And Clem forced to pick up, forced to get out. And the game will continue from here. The game will continue. We can see Clem almost catching out ByuN. Meanwhile, Clem is rallying across the map, and Clem still has the army supply lead. Oh. Still has that supply lead. Nice stutter stepping there from Clem. Does avoid the mine shots. Takes down a Reaper. Another, and soon to be another as well. We'll bleed out a Hellion in the process. Now Clem is pushing forward. He can reverse juggle. Takes down a Cyclone. It's being forced back. ByuN holds. Clem behind this, third CC, on the way for both players. So it looks like the game will settle, will stabilize, and we're working towards the mid game. I will still give the edge to Clem, but both players are building up towards a longer game state, and ByuN has more opportunities to bounce back with Harass, with catching up the main army, outpositioning Clem. See if ByuN can pull it off. we go. As ByuN does hit the main, going for SCV kills. We'll catch a handful of SCVs. Not bad, 3 SCVs go down. Not bad. You see ByuN trying to stabilize the economy, evening up the worker counts. Clem moving out. Now, as both players are getting to their 3-base setups, it's on Clem to try and delay the 3rd base of ByuN to get further ahead in the economy. Meanwhile, Liberator is going to be shut down. Oh, taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Clem moving out, and again, I don't think Clem really intends to break into the natural domain. His goal here is just contain, just deny the 3rd. I say that, does have Ravens, does have potential to dive. But yeah, he's just parked outside, waiting for ByuN to move out. He's trying to set up a trap. ByuN is aware. Liberator moving in. 1 shot away from going down, but might be able to catch a couple more SCVs. Not bad. Gets one. Gets one. Denies mining time. Getting a marine as well. Whatever we can get. Let's go. But Clem has a 3rd base. This is the problem here. This is the goal of Clem. Clem is on a 3-base economy, and ByuN has still not expanded. He's actually going towards the top left. Oh my god, where's he going? ByuN going for a ninja. He's crazy. Because ByuN knows that Clem is in position to deny his expansion, ByuN, he goes for the northern base. Takes a hidden 3rd. I mean, that's a way to go about it. True. Is a way for ByuN to expand. I mean, otherwise he's going to be stuck on 2 bases, so not bad. It's a very creative solution to this problem. Very creative. ByuN setting up a surround. Yeah, unloading behind the army of Clem. And Clem, he doesn't spot this. Does have the Ravens though, does have auto turrets and disables. ByuN going for the scan. Disables come in! Yeah, the tanks, one of the Ravens as well. Oh, sorry, both tanks even. And ByuN will clean this up. He shuts down the tanks, all 3 of them, and now can break out. Now Clem is in trouble, racing back home, down in tanks. And ByuN, he can send it. Send it, Pappy. Keep going. What do we have at home to defend? That's what I want to know. How many tanks does Clem have? Now, what's important is that Clem did retain his Ravens. The Ravens are still alive for Clem. On top of that, he did not spend any energy. He did not spend any energy in that fight. He did retain it. So Clem has a lot of disables available, has a lot of auto turrets as well. Like, these Ravens provide so much utility here to Clem. And ByuN doesn't push in. Yeah, breaking that position would just be a little bit too much. But ByuN is still in this. Double expanding. ByuN getting a 4cc on location. Let's go. Catching up with the workers. Not quite there yet. Clem still has the edge, but ByuN is getting there. Is getting there. See ByuN rotating over. Threading the right-hand side. Is going to be forced back. And Clem even cashing out 3 of these Cyclones. Not bad. I mean, Cyclones doesn't scale amazingly into a longer game, but nice cash on the list from Clem. As we see ByuN backing off and stabilizing. He's just securing himself back at home, sieging up his tank lines. Throwing down sensor towers as well. And the game is going to slow down. The game will slow down from here. We already had a 36-minute TVT earlier. We could be headed in that direction again. True. Could happen again. As ByuN is sharking around, Clem is the first to max out. Again, he's had the better economy for longer. Is maxed. When it comes to the main army, still very heavily biotank-centric. Clem going for a massive counterattack. The Ravens are here. The tanks are disabled. And Clem is just cutting off the third base, going for the fourth as well. The boys are being pulled. Into so many Marines. At the same time, ByuN commits to a base trade. We're trading a base for a base. Third base locations are going down for both players. ByuN losing 22 SCVs. And Clem saves most of his workers. Does save his SCVs. And ByuN, he wants more. Also, as I say that the workers are caught out, oh my god. 21 for 22. ByuN has the upgrade advantage. 2-2 is done for the Blue Terran. Clem trying to keep up. Oof. ByuN does stim. Clem racing back home trying to catch out the army. Yeah, the missile does connect. Oof. And ByuN has to pull back. And as the dust does settle, we're in a pretty weird game state here. It's 3 base versus 3 base. Both players lost an expansion. Still very close. ByuN does have the upgrade advantage. 3-3 is on the way, yet to begin for Clem. Still on the way. On the horizon here for Clem. Yeah, ByuN going for the dive. Massive anti-armor missile as well. A massive catch. And Clem is going to get cleaned up. Yeah, ByuN goes for the dive. Tanks are going down. Medevacs as well. Clem caught with his pants down. He's in trouble. Forced back home. Tanks to be sieging up. Oh my god, massive tank shots going off. ByuN overstimmed. His army is deep in the red. He can't fight this. He has to back off. ByuN overextending. Does overextend, going for a Doom Drop towards the main. No turrets are set up. But Clem reads this well. Marines are getting in position. And there's that one turret. ByuN is going to commit. Clem pulls away. Oh. Clem pulls away. The Doom Drop does come in. First tank goes down. Second tank as well. Not the best drop from ByuN. He does get behind the mineral line. We'll get some SCVs. At the same time, Clem gets across the map. Catch some tanks. Yeah, 2 tanks going down. Medevacs. Oh, 1 medevac does fall. Meanwhile, the Doom Drop of ByuN is getting cleaned up. This was a lot of supply going down. ByuN plummets in supply. That was 4 full medevacs. And what does ByuN get? A handful of SCVs. Not worth it. Not worth it in the end for ByuN. But there's another big factor coming in. Clem has a massive supply lead. He was able to out-trade his opponent. 3-3 is about to finish up for ByuN. 3-3 never began for Clem. But is it actually going to come into play, though? Clem, he's rattling across the map. He smells blood in the water. 3-3 still on the way for ByuN. Tank is going down. Clem making his way towards the third. ByuN needs time. He needs time, Papi. 3-3 is finishing up, but doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter, Papi. As Clem is pushing forward, Clem has a massive tank lead. Sure, ByuN has the Marines, but the tanks, they shut the Marines down. Massive volleys going off. The Marines, they melt. 14 SCVs alongside them. Base under fire. God, that's a lot of tanks. ByuN trying to catch reinforcements, but Clem, he just rallies across the map, and it looks like Clem, he has done it. He's broken the back of ByuN. ByuN had some good moments in this game, definitely, but just was not enough. Boys are being pulled. A lot of tanks are going down. A very efficient trade here by ByuN. But here come the reinforcements. GG gets called, and Clem will take down ByuN 1-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem jumping on voice. The all kill once again. Clem, he all killed Psystorm Gaming or Psystorm Navi. And Clem, he all kills Shopify. Let's go. Kind of. Kind of, I guess. I say kind of because if you recall, Cure and ByuN knocked each other out initially, so I don't think an all kill is quite apt there. now that I think about it. Close enough. Technically, Clem did defeat all the players. True, technically. Since ByuN was revived. So, kind of. Regardless, GG. GG well played. Clem will take the win, and Shopify Rebellion are knocked out of WTL. GG well played. Team Liquid will take it. Again, ByuN had an amazing surround earlier. Just like what I'm most impressed by is that ByuN had a really rough start. Remember, ByuN went proxy 2-Rax Reaper. He went for a 2-Rax Reaper and it fell on its face. It fell on its face. Clem had a very strong start. If you remember, Clem also had a much faster third base. Clem had a greater economy, was able to have a greater army as well. And ByuN did claw his way back into it. We had a back and forth. But in the end, I do feel like a big moment for ByuN was after he had surrounded Clem, after he had gained map control. Remember, ByuN went for a Doom Drop. He went for a Doom Drop into the main. That was 4 or 5 medevacs full of units, and he was shut down. He was shut down so hard. The entirety of the Doom Drop was cleaned up, and that was a moment where ByuN plummets in supply, and Clem never lets up. He never let up from that moment forward. That was when momentum swung heavily in favor of the French Terran. And with that, GG. GG, well played. With that, I believe we're getting ready for an interview. I believe we're getting ready for an interview before the next series. Up next should be Team Liquid versus Weibo Gaming. Let's get that predictions ready. Sorry, the interview ready. Let us go. And this will give us time to set up the overlays as well. Up.
Hello， 各位亲爱的观众朋友们，欢迎回来！让我们恭喜 TL 再下一城。那我们也是赶紧来连线采访一下 Clem 选手吧。Hello Clem， 恭喜你又一次带着队伍再下了一城，很高兴可以采访到你今天的表现非常出色。那在赛前采访的时候有问过你的对手在赛前采访的时候说，趁你在休假的时候有潜心研究过你，然后今天想要针对你。那你有感觉到今天对面的哪一个针对对你有产生威胁呢
？Hello Clem, félicitations. First question is that before the match, actually, Lambo said that they have done research on you during your break. So my question is, they have made several plans. Did you feel it?
Hello. Well, Harstem definitely came up with something a bit unusual with the proxy void ray, so that was quite surprising. But it's a build I've already played against, but a long time ago, and I kind of forgot it existed because usually it looks a bit scary, but in the end, it usually ends up being fine for the Terran. So I was a bit scared when I saw the 2 voters show up, but then yeah, it was okay. And then in TVC against Lambo, I feel like he played quite standard in the end. Tried to play Massling Bane Ultra on Pursuit, which is I think pretty good. And then Mura on Goldenera, which is also I think pretty good. But yeah, he took some buy trades and the early game went quite well for me, I think, both times. So yeah, and then against ByuN, the Proxy Reaper. Well, that's a build order loss for him a little bit. But usually it's not game ending, and this time it wasn't game ending. But yeah, he was a bit behind. So from there. Took the game from there and yeah, it's good.
实际上我还是有感受到他们的一些针对性的，打起来会跟之前有所不一样。比如说 Harstem 他的这个打法有一些变化，开始是有点让我觉得有点不太一样的感觉，是有那么一点点吓人的，不过最后还是稳住了。Scarlet 其实也是有这种针对性的对我做出一些动作的，但是没有造成太大的影响。那 TVG 这边呢 ，Lambo 的开局还是蛮标准的，其实还能够接受。那到后面这个ByuN 的野兵营啊，这些确实还是让我感觉到了，总体来讲，他们确实是拿出了很多新的招数。
虽然拿出了很多新的招数，虽然也是做了一些科研，但是最终还是 Clem 选手稳稳的拿下了比赛。那刚刚也是聊到了 ByuN 选手在最后一局的比赛里面，其实 ByuN 选手有一度给你带来一些麻烦，他有一波换家，当时让局面稍微有一些扑朔迷离的，跟我们来分享一下最后一局的情况好吗
？So speaking of ByuN, he almost got you in the base trade fight, yet you managed to come back. So what happened?
Yeah, I think he. Well, I was pretty far ahead at the start, I think, and then I didn't expect him to have that much army in the defense at some point because most of my tanks were still in my base, like spread around, like some in my main, one in my natural, couple in my third. So then my army ended up being pretty tiny, and he just had all of his army there, and just regrouped and pounced on my army. And I didn't expect him to have that much army, so that got a little bit scary. But then he oversteamed a little bit. I think. Well, he kind of had to steam, but his army was a little bit in the red. So then he lost your army supply lead that he had, and then from there, well, I had more eco, and even if he had more upgrades, I just had too many things for his army to deal with.
他开局的时候可能是我这边开局说其实还蛮好的，我觉得在防守的时候，确实有一段时间是陷入了被动啊，不得不这样去防他，而且这个主2、3基地都陷入了一些困境。那一波他也确实是拿了堆了很多的兵，我确实感到压力很大，我也很意外。但是求稳嘛，他这边也是跟我拼了，有一点点冒进，导致他损失了更多的兵和人口，所以可能。那波稳住了，就没有这些危险了。
确实那一波的防守，我们可以看到 Clem 选手处理的非常好。那最后一个问题就是，你从昨天到今天所有的比赛1分没有丢，下一个要迎来的对手是 WBG， 那他们队伍也有非常出色和优秀的选手，你觉得接下来跟他们的这一场比赛会怎么样呢？预测一下吧。
Since yesterday you haven't lost even one score, and next team will be WBG. Who do you think will cause trouble to your team?
Well, obviously Hero is extremely good, so he's gonna be very hard to face. And yeah, it's always scary going up against him. I'm also quite scared of Oliveira as well, because TVT can always go either way. And it feels like my TVT got better recently, but still probably my worst. So. Yeah, it's a bit scared of TVP, TVT, I mean, as well. And, yeah.
显而易见 ，Hero 是比较难对付的一个选手。那跟他对阵，其实我心里还是有点小怕怕的。另外一个就是肯定是 Oliveira， 因为TVT 嘛，我觉得我自己 TVT 其实最近是有上升的，但我觉得 TVT 还是没有那么大的信心。这2名选手应该是会对我造成比较大的麻烦。
好的，那我们接下来也是很有机会可以看到2位互相欣赏的这个人族选手给我们带来精彩的表现，也是希望 Clem 接下来的比赛好好加油。那感谢接受我们的采访，谢谢 ，Thank you，Good luck。
Thank you。
好的，我们精彩的比赛即将继续，休息一下，马上回来。
And with that, we are going to be going on a short break. Good to hear from Clem as well, admitting as well that his worst matchup is maybe his TVT. That is where he's maybe a little bit scared. Up next is going to be Team Liquid versus Weibo Gaming. And I am looking forward to, I mean, we've already had a lot of TVTs tonight, and I'm sure they'll continue. I am looking forward to Oliveira versus Clem. Honestly, I think Oliveira is one that can threaten Clem 100%. Likewise, Hero as well. Like WBG, Weibo Gaming, they are a pretty terrifying team in their own right, and yeah, it's exciting to see how they compare against Team Liquid. Likewise, I'm sure Cure, I'm sure SKillous and Alaser as well, they will be stepping up to the plate and looking to pull their own weight as well to make sure that Clem doesn't have to do everything here. I mean, Clem has all killed 2 teams so far, kind of all killing Shopify. Is he going to do the same to Weibo? We'll find out. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. See you soon.